Winnipeg TV. The Jets vowed that this would be a season to remember. Last season, they were at the bottom of the Western Conference standings. Now they're near the top. It's at home where they've been their best, rewarding those still loyal fans with one of the best home ice records in the NHL, 9 wins, 3 ties in 15 games. And last week, the Jets picked up 7 of a possible 10 points during their 5-game homestand. Coach Terry Simpson now hopes some of that home success will carry on to the road, where the Jets have only won 4 of 11. And tonight, they begin a brief 2-game California business trip against the Kings. Their last trip into L.A. was a memorable one for Alexei Zhamnov, as he tied a club record for goals with 5. The Kings also missed the playoffs last season, and that meant change. Hall of Famer Larry Robinson is their head coach. The Kings just a point back of the Jets thanks to goalie Byron Defoe. He carried much of the early load for L.A. when Kelly Rudy was injured. Rudy is back, and the Kings have a solid 1-2 tandem. Wayne Gretzky, not surprisingly, he's still the leader of the Kings attack, 7th in league scoring, and against the Jets, the Great One has 77 goals and 218 points. Tonight, from the Forum in Los Angeles, it's the Jets versus the Kings, live on CKND. Jets Hockey on CKND Winnipeg TV is brought to you by Molson Canadian. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Pascucci. Tonight, the Jets play the first of a 2-game California road trip as they meet the Kings for the first time this season. Tomorrow night, the Jets will be in San Jose for their 3rd meeting with the Sharks. Now, just over a week ago, Teppo Numminen separated his right shoulder, and in 3 games since, the Jets have a win, a loss, and a tie. Dave Manson and the rest of the Blue Line Corps have stepped up their game a notch, and Jets head coach Terry Simpson spoke about that just prior to tonight's game.
With Teppo out of the lineup, we've been using Manson at home exclusively against the better line, and you get the last change there, of course. Building like this, you don't, so it's going to be a little harder, but Manson's played real well, and he's been taking up some of the slack. But I think the biggest thing that we have to is our forwards really have to help out in games like this. I mean, they have to get back into the zone early, pick up their checks, and really help the defense get back to the pucks and stuff like that. So we're making lateral passes, short passes out of the zone rather than trying to make the Hail Marys.
Well, it is a team game, and our team in Los Angeles tonight to bring you the game between the Jets and the Kings, Kurt Kielbach and John Garrett. Let's get their thoughts right now.
Thanks, Joe. Hello again, everybody. And you know, John, it was interesting that Terry Simpson mentioned that the forwards have to get back and help out a little bit. And then you automatically think of getting back, you think of Teemu Selanne, who likes to be more up towards center ice.
Well, all the forwards, that's it. But Teemu has been so good this year, I don't think he'll have any problems adapting to the team without Teppo Numminen and on the road. Sure, Larry Robinson gets the last change, but Teemu is playing so well and so consistently, I don't think he'll have any trouble getting back and helping out the defense.
And a defenseman who's being called upon more and more often with the absence of Teppo Numminen is, of course, Dave Manson.
Well, I think what I'm really impressed this year with Dave Manson is consistency and control. Terry Simpson has him playing a very disciplined style and in complete control for the full 60 minutes of almost every game. I've only seen him lose it once this year, and that's really a change for Dave Manson. He has really been a pleasant surprise, along with the goaltending for the Winnipeg Jets this year.
Well, the Los Angeles Kings, like the Winnipeg Jets, are without their #1 defenseman, Rob Blake, which leaves a lot more load on Marty McSorley.
It really does, and he has to change his style. He started this year as the old Marty McSorley, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where he switched halfway through the game and lose it. Well, he can't now. He has to stay on the ice. He has to be in control. He can't spend half a game in the penalty box, and he's been able to do that, especially on this little homestand that the Kings are on now. The last 3 games, Marty has been their best defenseman. He's been in control. He's made good offensive plays, and he has played a good, solid Rob Blake-style defense.
The Kings have been having big problems at the other end of the ice. They haven't been able to score any goals.
Well, they really have, and you look at Dmitry Kristich, who has really gone into the tank, and Yannick Perreault, who had a great start. He scored the first 11 games. He had points in the first 11 games, and in the last 11, he has 1 point. And if Perreault picks it up again and Kristich picks it up, then the Kings will start to produce again.
So the Winnipeg Jets and the Los Angeles Kings are standing by for the opening faceoff here on CKND Winnipeg TV.
world of beers, Molson Special Dries in a world all its own.
A delicious feast, in spite of the Christmas revelry.
Oh, Uncle Scrooge, it's even more delicious since we use a new Tefal Resistyle cookware from Canadian Tire.
It must have cost a fortune. I've lost my appetite.
But the Tefal Resistyle 7-piece cook set was only $89.99. And I saved 45% each on the fry pans.
Plus, we got triple Canadian Tire money or triple options points.
What a savings!
Suddenly, I have my appetite back.
Canadian Tire lets you give like Santa and save like Scrooge.
Some people love smashing cars, but for most of us, it's not much fun. So at Midtown Ford, we make it simple to have your car fixed, quickly and correctly. Just bring us your AutoPack claim, then make an appointment to use one of our free loaners. Before you know it, we'll turn this into this. Convenience and quality. It's the edge you get from Midtown Ford, the body shop for Manitoba.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win a set of quality appliances from Tefal, a 20-piece set of Mikasa Fine China in the Currents pattern, a Gold Star Start Touch 2 VCR, or a Texas Instruments personal organizer. You could also win a trip or two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. To enter, drop by your local Safeway, and when the Jets score on CKND, you could win. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by the home of the Big Buy, Jim Coche Chevol's Geo Cadillac.
And welcome back. The Jets and the Kings about to drop the puck in L.A. Kerry Wilson has joined us as usual. Kerry, the Jets did not have a pregame skate today. Why?
Well, that's interesting after having arrived on Monday. Probably had a very good practice Tuesday, and today you'd think they'd have a nice crisp morning skate. Maybe the coach is sort of looking a little bit ahead to their next game, but they've got to, you know, when you don't have that morning skate, you got to hope the guys are getting themselves out of their hotel rooms, getting out for a little walk, and starting to get mentally prepared, because that mental aspect is missing when you don't get the guys together in the arena the morning of the game.
All right, let's go to L.A. and join Kurt Kuhlbach and John Garrett.
So at the Forum and in goal for the Los Angeles Kings is Byron Defoe, and he has had an outstanding rookie start. He was a key part of the Kings go when they went on that 7-game unbeaten string to start the season. Defoe has a record of 8 wins, 7 losses, 5 ties, 1 shutout. It was 1-0 at St. Louis. And the referee tonight is Bill McCreary, the linesman Dan Shakti, and Shane Iyer. And standing opposite in goal for the Winnipeg Jets is Tim Shovelday, 2-5-3.
Terry talked about not having a pregame skate and the Winnipeg Jets getting up, and the coaches making sure, well, they did come to the rink. They had a team meeting, and I'm sure Kerry's seen that before, too, where the coaches get them there. The guys think they're going to skate, but then they just have a meeting, get a little rest, make sure they're up.
So play gets underway as the Jets dump it down. It's picked up by Tkachuk. Tkachuk puts it rink wide. Olczyk goes after it in the corner. Olczyk against McSorley, slides it in behind the net. Tkachuk can't hang on, and it's sent around on the boards all the way down the ice. Right on Shovelday, who leaves for Manson. First of 4 meetings on the season between the Kings and the Jets. Robert Long holds it in momentarily, then it's sent out to center ice, picked up there by Conacher. Conacher gets over the Jet line with Chuck in pursuit. Tkachuk in pursuit, centers it, and it's grabbed there by Tim Shovelday.
Scratches for the Los Angeles Kings. Rob Blake, the big one with the knee problem, he's done for the year. Sean O'Donnell took a extra skate this morning. He was not pleased about being scratched. Kevin Brown is hurt, and Ziplikov is out. Aki Berg back in. He was scratched on Saturday for the LA Kings. And for Winnipeg, Neil Wilkinson still out. Mike Stapleton skated with a helmet on. Randy Gillen, Temple Newman, and Ed Ronan had the extra skate this morning. The only few Jets to have the skate this morning.
Puck is in the Jet zone. Malgunas comes up with it. Malgunas can't get it out. Here's a shot by Kristich. It's grabbed and held by Tim Shovelday.
Good news for Tim Shovelday after his not-so-great start is that he waited over a month and a half, so it's like a new start for him, and he's played very well. He's in the last 3 games, and he can forget about the start of the year when he wasn't so good and just build on the last few games where he has played very well.
Gretzky comes out with Kristich and Yakmanov. Puck goes into the corner. It's in behind the net. Now going after it there is Quint. Quinn sends it up the boards for Eastwood. That's cut off. Gretzky turns it around. Gretzky throws it across the goal mouth. Turcotte kicks it loose to Eastwood. Eastwood slides it back. Grabbed there by Turcotte. One hands it down into the King zone. Defoe puts it in behind, and it's picked up there by Berg. Berg slides it rink wide. Conacher ahead to Kristich. Kristich is fast. That goes to Gretzky. Gretzky in across the line. He dropped it off. And now it's grabbed by Turcotte. Bumped down into the Los Angeles zone. Defoe around on the boards. Quint holds it in. Quint dumps it in deep. And it's taken out again by the Kings. A minute and a half into a scoreless opening period. It's dumped into the Jet zone. Chevrolet leaves it there for Dave Manson. Manson a log in excess of 30 minutes tonight. Manson works it out to center ice. Pass on the right side for Korolev. Bounced off. Now it's picked up, taken back. Here's Todd. His shot that's blocked by Quint. It's in behind the net. Winnipegger. Kevin Todd trying to work it in front. Can't. And now Manson with it. Gets it to the blue line. Kept in by Finn. Fired into the corner. After it, McKenzie for Winnipeg. McKenzie gets it to the blue line. That's held in. Long shot. And that's kicked out by Chevrolet. Centered again. After it is Todd down in the corner. Gets it to Tocchet. His centering effort was knocked away. And it's in all the way back down the ice. Back to get it is Philippe Boucher. And it's icing against the Winnipeg Jets.
Larry Robinson looks on, and with his defensive core, he's got Aki Berg, the youngest player in the NHL, playing, and Philippe Boucher, who has had some problems. Dennis Sigurd, the other defenseman who came over from Buffalo, was sent to Phoenix after their game on Saturday night. Larry Robinson talks about the team defense and how the LA Kings have to start to chip it off the boards. They can't try and carry it out of their own zone all the time. They have to think defense first, and they have enough talent up front to score goals.
Puck is down in the Jet zone. Taken in behind the net. Sent around by Thompson. Out to the center ice area. Eastwood drops it back to Thompson. He looks across, gives to Jeff Finley. Finley's pass to Korolev. Back over to Thompson. Thompson retreats with Burrow after him. Sends it around to the boards. Granato trying to throw it out in front. Knocked away by Thompson. Now again, Granato goes after it. Four of them along the boards in the Jet zone. It's down to the corner. Curry and Finley. Finley tried it around for McKenzie. Stopped. Now Curry centers it. And it's grabbed there by Zhamnov. Alexei Zhamnov, 5 goals in his last trip to Los Angeles, April 1st. Dumps it all the way down. Defoe leaves it behind the net. Now it's centered through the crease. And it's picked up and taken out to center. Dumped into Jet territory. Malgunas goes back for it. Puts it across to Daryl Shannon. Pass up the right side. Taken at center ice by Drake. Drake trying it in for Darren Shannon without a stick. He kicks at it. Now Kristich behind the goal. Kristich is checked. Puck goes loose. Darren Shannon kicks at it. Now Eastwood works for it. It's grabbed by Shannon. Shannon behind the net for Eastwood. Drake is in front. Eastwood still with it. Trying to wrap it around. Sticks it. He scored! Patience paid off. He scored on the wraparound. It's 1-0 Winnipeg.
The size of Mike Eastwood against Daryl Sador, and that was a mismatch, and Eastwood used his size, his 6'3", against Daryl Sador, and Sador just couldn't handle it. Eastwood gets Defoe moving, and Sador just can't reach around. Eastwood slides it off the post and beats Byron Defoe. Sador goes all the way in behind the net. Instead of staying in front and making Eastwood make the first move, Sador, impatient, went after him. Eastwood made him pay.
Winnipeg goal, the fourth goal. Fourth of the season for Mike Eastwood. Darren Shannon and Shane Doan draw the assists. 1-0 the Jets lead. And go to 3:41. Now the Jets move it again. Here's Solani, puts it wide. It's in behind the goal. Solani reaches for it, puts it ahead on the boards. And now the Kings, Conacher works it out to center ice. Sends it rink wide for Drews. That's picked off. The Jets turn it around. Late pass for Solani. Tried it back for Olczyk. And the Kings, Long gets in across the line. Here's Long, moves in, lets it go. And that goes into the corner. Now Solani away for Winnipeg. With Tkachuk and Olczyk, dumps it in. Olczyk goes after it, Dave. In behind the net. Kings try to clear. Now it's sent back toward the blue line, and the Kings start away. It's taken at center ice. In over the line is Drews. He lets it go. That's wide. Moving in deep. Cowie pumps it in behind the Jet net. Now Gunas ties up his man Long. Puts it up the boards. That's taken there by Lacroix. Puts it through the crease. And now with it is Solani. Solani's pass moves out to center ice to Daryl Shannon. Dumped into the King zone. McSorley after it. 5 minutes gone in the opening period. The Jets are the only goal. Now Thompson fires it down into the King zone. After it deep is Doan. Doan puts it behind the net. Here's Turcotte. Turcotte looks in front of King. Turcotte trying to wrap it around. That was cut off. King after it again. Puts it to Turcotte. Turcotte looks in front. Pass for Doan. It went over top as it went off a stick. And the Kings take it away. Out at center is Todd. Gets in across the line, trying to beat Thompson. Slides it back out in front. Now here's the drop pass, the shot. Cowie panned on it. And the Jets don't. Sends it ahead. Here's Turcotte. Knocked it into the King zone, and back for it goes McSorley. Marty McSorley trying it for Tocchet. Couldn't handle it. Now gets it down into the Jet zone. And back forward is Manson. Kings have outshot the Jets 5-2 to this early stage, but the Jets are the only goal. Puck in the center ice area. Now it's taken by Granato. He drops it off to Senor. In behind the net, Quint is there for Winnipeg. Gives it to Manson. Manson sends it up the glass. It's stopped. Here's Granato. Granato trying to beat Perreault. Spins, gets it back to the point. Here's the shot. Kicked away by Cheveldae. Perreault to Curry. Curry steers it in front. And it's knocked away and out of play by Dave Manson. So the score, the Jets won, the Kings nothing. This is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
In today's world of beers, Molson Special Dries in a world all its own.
Uncle Scrooge, how merry to have you with us. Ah, now, there must be something that can make you happy.
I do see two things.
You mean the Black & Decker Dustbuster Classic Handbag I got for only $39.99. And this Black & Decker Dirtbuster with accessory tools was also $39.99. Plus, I got triple Canadian Tire money, all triple options points.
Very frugal.
Well, we are related.
Let's keep that our little secret.
Okay, Canadian Tire lets you give like Santa and save like Scrooge.
So the Jets scored on their first shot on goal. Mike Eastwood, and we have a winner in our Safe Play Score and Win contest. Deanna Sidgen entered a ballot and included a label from Unico Pasta. As a result, Deanna has won a set of quality appliances from T-Foul. Now the puck is in a Jet zone. It slides close backhand, picked up by Gretzky. Gretzky trying to work it in front, can. It goes to Eastwood in the corner. Eastwood puts it behind the net. Finley knocked it from Gretzky. Lines it up the boards. It's kept in. Back at the blue line. Kristich. Here's Kristich. Goes right in front. A shot that went over top. Now it's grabbed by Finley. He manages to clear it all the way down the ice. And going deep to pick it up for the Kings is Berg. That's icing against the Winnipeg Jets.
Terry Simpson talked about the team playing team defense on the road, but against the Gretzky line, it's pretty tough to do. They've got a lot of jump. Dmitry Kristich back on the line. Larry Robinson switching it around, trying to get Kristich going, playing him with Gretzky again, and they've had some pretty good pressure, but the shots haven't been getting through. The Jets have done a good job in front of Tim Cheveldae, letting him see the long shots, and then the in-tight shots, they've been able to block them.
The Kings went on that 5-game road swing, scored only 7 goals. As we mentioned earlier, it's been a problem cashing in. Now the puck goes into the corner. Behind the Jet net, Tocchet trying to drag it in front. He overskated. Manson puts it around for Solani. He can't get it outside. As Greenhill, but in comes loose. Here's Perreault. Hides it wide. And now the puck is grabbed by Tkachuk. Away to center ice for Winnipeg. Lifted into the corner. Solani goes in after it behind the net. Solani works it along the boards. Perreault goes in after him. Solani's pass wide of Shannon. Finley at center fires it back in. And in to get it is Stephen Finn. The former Quebec Nordique now puts it on the left side. It went by Perreault all the way down the ice. Back forward is McKenzie. Big McKenzie slides it ahead to Turcotte at center. Dumped into the King zone. Dave Cole can't clear it. King flips it across the crease. Turcotte moving in, couldn't redirect. Daryl Shannon trying to dump it in, stop on Lacroix. Lacroix's pass couldn't be reached by Tocchet, who was en route to the bench for a change. Now King, the captain of the Jets, gets it over to Doan, dumped into the King zone. And back forward is Cowie. Cowie gets dangerously in front, gives to Gretzky. Back it goes. Cowie at center. Now Long. Hit across the line. Here's Long with a burst to speed in front. Big save. Cheveldae has Granado redirected from the top of the crease. But a great burst of speed by Robert Long. 1-0, the Jets lead. 8:07 gone in the opening period.
If I listen long enough to you, to catch your dreams and believe what you can do, knowing all our lives we strive, you and I, credit unions and a reason to believe.
Drop into today's credit unions.
What do you think he's gonna bring us this time? I have my heart on that Hot Wheels car and ramp. I sure could use that Barbie.
You can get your kids their favorites with McDonald's Holiday Happy Meal. One with each Happy Meal you buy.
Home. He's good.
Right now at McDonald's, celebrate the holidays with the Kids Video Collection, just $6.99 each, featuring Goldilocks and the Three Bears, the classic tale with a 90s twist. With 75 cents going to RMCC, collect all four, only at McDonald's.
Tim Cheveldae off to a great start early in this one. Now the Jets have to kill off a penalty. Daryl Shannon goes for slashing.
Puck in the Jets zone. It's sent out and all the way down the ice. And going back to get it is Daryl Sador. Sador leaves it behind the net. The Kings will try to get organized on a power play. It's taken straight up the middle to center. Driven into the Jet corner. King goes after it. King knocks it to Manson. Manson managed to get it out. It bounced back in off the linesman. And that brings about a stop play.
Shane Heyer couldn't get out of the way, and a good play on that shoot-in. Philippe Boucher, the long shoot-in, and the Jets got back quickly, able to drive that puck hard on the boards and get it out. The LA Kings power play has not been as good as you would expect. 2 for 29 in their last 6. 0 for 2 against Dallas on Saturday night, and they had a couple of chances in that game to put it away with their power play and never really had any quality chances.
Gretzky, Kristich, Yachmanev out on the power play up front. Sador is back along with Philippe Boucher. Boucher provides the big shot in the absence of Rob Blake. Boucher has it now. Moves it up the middle to center ice, gives it to Sador. Sador dumps it in deep. Malgunas in the corner. Malgunas bumped by Kristich. It's taken in behind the net. Here's Gretzky in front. It steers off Yachmanev. It's knocked back in front again and then steered away by the Jets Eastwood.
Dmitry Kristich hit the side of the net, the post and the crossbar with that rebound, a break for the Jets.
Here's Gretzky. Puts it across. Sador backpedals, now takes it deep, looking back to Boucher, puts it to the corner to Gretzky with Kristich in front, puts it back. Here's the shot. Yes, he scored!
What a great play by Wayne Gretzky. The Winnipeg Jets get mesmerized. Everybody goes one way, and then Yachmanev comes out, and what a nice move. He's in behind the net and still tucks it by Tim Cheveldae. Here's a goal scorer's goal. Look at where he's standing when it goes in. Both feet in behind the goal line, and he pulls it by Tim Cheveldae.
Los Angeles goal, a power play goal. A power play goal at 9:25, and it's 1-1. Now Cowie with it. Dumps it out to center ice. Grabbed there by Tkachuk, who brings it back for Winnipeg. Tkachuk goes to the outside, gives to Solani. Solani back for Olczyk. His shot that went wide. At the blue line with it, Daryl Shannon puts it in behind for Tkachuk. Leaves it there for Solani. Back for Tkachuk. Knocked to the corner. Solani picks it up. Back to the point. Now Gunas, a quick shot. Big Raven. Olczyk's backhand. And the save by Defoe.
talked about the power play, and it was obvious the Kings were trying to feed Wayne Gretzky at every opportunity. Every chance they had, they gave the puck to Gretzky. He's in behind the net, waits for it, gets it, pulls everybody to one side, the little back pass, and Yachmanev makes no mistakes. Daryl Sador threw that puck from the blue line deep into the corner to Gretzky, just so that Gretzky would be the quarterback instead of the point man.
So it's the midway mark of this opening period. It's 1-1. The faceoff is in the Kings zone. It's taken in behind the net by Youngberg, who puts it up on the left side to Conacher. Conacher to long back to Conacher at center ice. Gets it to the jet line, steered out by Shamnov and sent back in by the Kings. With it now Finley. Gives to Korolev. Korolev's pass too far for Shamnov. And long at center ice. Goes to the outside. Fires it into the jet zone. Cheveldae pushes it around on the boards. It's kept in by Drews. Drews takes it behind the net. Puts it to the corner now for Conacher. Conacher slides it behind. Finley goes there for Winnipeg. Jeff Finley's pass to Korolev. Knocked out to center ice. Berg puts it back in. And the Jets will bring it out again. Sent to Korolev at center ice. Gets as far as the line. Trying to poke it by Berg. For the battle for it. It goes free. And here's the speedy Robert Long at center ice. Flips it into Jet territory. Knocked away to Manson. Manson comes back. In for Korolev. And center. Drives it in. It takes a weird bounce. Eastwood takes it in the corner for Shannon. Shannon works it along the boards. Shannon then pumps it in behind the net for Eastwood. Eastwood has scored the last time he had it back there. Drops it up. Gets the return pass on the balls as it was knocked away by the Kings. Gretzky in behind the net. Now over to Yachmanev. His pass to center ice. Back now to Yachmanev with Kristich and Gretzky. Yachmanev over to Kristich. He's checked. And Quinn puts it ahead to Olchek. Dumped in deep. After it is Shannon. Shannon had it knocked away. It's along the boards. And Kristich gets it to Gretzky. Gretzky over the jet line. Gretzky stops. Dropped it back. Kristich dumps it in. It's behind the net. Centered. And bouncing on it is Tim Cheveldae.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go racing. Everyone has a chance to win the target.
1-1. Past the midway mark of the first period.
12, you're riding the green dots.
Season's greetings. We're wishing you a happy holiday with all the best from Sears. To celebrate the season, you can beat the GST on all living room, dining room, and bedroom sets. Beat the GST on all major appliances, including Kenmore. And beat the GST on these home electronics. Plus, use your Sears card and don't pay till June 96. All the best from all of us at Sears. Sears Beat the GST event. It all ends this weekend.
Expect more from Sears.
Is it possible for a comedy show to be about nothing?
Yeah, that's funny.
How funny is it?
I tell you this, you will be stunned.
Stunning comedy on Seinfeld. Thursdays at 8 on CKND.
Have you ever seen an elephant glow in the dark? How about a lion or a giraffe? Come to Lights of the Wild at the Assiniboine Park Zoo December 16th through January 7th. Sponsored in part by CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Very impressive home record for the LA Kings. Only 40 goals against, not that many for. Undefeated in their last 5, and they're trying to build from good defense. The last couple of games, only 2 goals against, and a few less shots on goal.
Kachuk dumps it out to center ice. Cowie gets it over to McSorley. Back to Cowie. Comes up the left side. Cowie to center. Pass knocked down by Kachuk. Now ground by Tocchet, trying to work his way through. And it's turned around by Kachuk with Solani 3-on-2 at center ice. Solani, Kachuk, and Olchek. Back it goes to Kachuk to Solani. Solani behind the net. Goes to the corner with it. Looks back for a trailer. Now finds Kachuk. Kachuk's pass for Olchek. And he couldn't put the handle on it. Now it's picked up along the boards and sent out to Lacroix. Can't get it out. Tocchet has to go back. Gives to McSorley. To Tocchet. Tocchet puts it in front of his own goal. And Todd turns it around. His pass to Cowie. 3-on-2 at center ice is Cowie. Gets in across the line. Goes to the outside. Cowie stops. Now lets it go. It's behind the net. Picked up by Todd. Todd tried to wrap it around. Had some open space. It was cut off by King, who takes it away for Winnipeg. Chris King over the line. Working 1-on-2. Waiting now as the Jets make a change. King still has it. Goes down to the corner. McSorley after him. King after it again. In deep now for Turcotte. Granado bumps with him. It's taken by Doan. Doan puts it back. Here's Turcotte behind the goal. Turcotte puts it in front. Defoe couldn't quite reach it. It was knocked away. Now Finley in deep. Taken again by Turcotte. Turcotte works in front. Good shot. Perfect pass by Turcotte. Thompson couldn't finish it. Here's King behind the goal. Lots of traffic in front. Turcotte and Doan both there. And it slides between them and all the way back to center ice. Back with it is Finley. Finley with Granado. Watching him, sends it to center. Now Doan, a burst of speed, goes after it, knocked away. And Curry slides it over to Sador. Sador back to Curry. Curry works his way through the middle to center. Here's Curry. Gets over the line, dropped it off. Pearl moves to the outside, lets it go. Chevelday is not sure where. It's in the net.
No, the whistle had gone. Bill McCreary has waved this off. Chevelday did not know where it was, but Bill McCreary blew the whistle because he lost sight of it.
When everybody in the rink lost sight of the puck, it was caught up in the equipment of Tim Chevelday for a while, and it shook loose.
Perreault takes the shot. Chevelday doesn't know where it is, but he's got it. It's up in his equipment, and Bill McCreary makes the right call. The whistle's already gone, and then it goes over the line. The arms were already out. The whistle had gone. There's a break for Chevelday.
That took a long time before that puck dislodged itself from his equipment.
Early in the season for Yannick Perreault, that would have gone in.
Here's Korolev with it for Winnipeg. Gets to center. Takes it over the line against Berg. Colonel one-handed in front. Berg rides him out. And that's Bruce. Fires it all the way down the ice. Going back is Quint. Quint flips it back into Los Angeles territory. Going there forward is Korolev. Korolev tried it back, but play had been called as icing against the Winnipeg Jets.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Winnipeg Jets have played pretty well against the LA Kings in the past 3 years. And Kurt, you talked about Alexei Zhamnov and his big night last year. That was a 7-7 tie in that one, but it should give a guy like him confidence. He had a big night. He's still in the highlight reel for some of those goals. Grant Pearson net, but he's still in the top 10 goals from last season. It should give him a little confidence.
Here's a backhand, the save by Defoe. Puck in behind the net, trying to bring it around in front. There's going to be a penalty to the Kings. And now the whistle sounds, but typical, John, of the Jets of last year as opposed to this year. Zhamnov scored 5 goals in that game, and they still didn't win. As you said, a 7-7 tie. I was interested.
This is funny. Alexei Zhamnov is going off, and yet the Jets had control of the puck, and Bill McCreary didn't blow the whistle. Tim Chevelday went to the bench.
Winnipeg penalty to number 10, Alexei Zhamnov. 2 minutes.
Now, how do you figure that one? The Kings ended up shooting it into the empty net. The Jets had control, and Bill McCreary didn't blow the whistle.
2 minutes interference.
Well, that's a strange one.
Zhamnov gets the interference penalty, pushing Sador, but there Malgunas touches the puck. No whistle. Zhamnov comes in, goes to the net. Sador is in front of Byron Defoe. Zhamnov gives him a little shove, but Bill McCreary messed up who was in control when he blew the whistle.
So the Kings back in the power play. The last time they scored to tie it 1-1. This time the Jets dump it all the way down the ice. Defoe puts it off the boards out to center ice. Finley drives it right back in. Defoe leaves it there for Sador. Now the Kings start away. Here's Curry. Right side. Perreault. And on a pass. Now gets it over to Sador. Dumped in, back to get it, Manson, and he fires it all the way down the ice. So Sador, Curry, Gretzky go back very nonchalantly. None of them want the puck. Curry decides, I'll take it, and he starts up the middle. The center flips it in deep. Back for it, Malgunas slams it off the glass. It gets to the blue line, held in by Sador. Heavy traffic, now the puck goes to Yachmanev. He looks in front. Here's Yachmanev. Kristich is in front. Puts it back to Gretzky. Gretzky back. Here's Sador. Fakes it. Gives to Curry. Shot. Chevrolet save. Rebound is cleared away by King. And now the Kings try it again. Here's Cowie. To Curry. Cowie drives it in. Chevrolet leaves for Manson. Manson puts it off the glass. McSorley drives it back in. Darryl Shannon has it there. The lead outside against the Kings. Dropped it off to Manson. 3:45 left in the opening period. 14 seconds left in the penalty to Shamnov. The Kings have not mounted an offensive on this power play. And it's come back by Manson.
That's really done a good job standing up at their own blue line. The last time they got burned when the Kings had control inside the zone. This time the Jets aren't letting them get control.
Here's McSorley, leads the attack in across the line, trying to go through. Barnes is through. Puck rolled in on Chevrolet. He put it around. Tocchet sends it back. A shot by Granato. It's wide. Here's the try from the side by Pearl. It's centered again, and it's grabbed by Korlak. He works into center. Pass to Shamnov, was out of the box. Dropped it off. Here's Korlak, moves into it. Korlak to the outside. Centers McSorley. Had to go off his stick. And coming back to center ice with it is Tocchet. Gets to the line, dropped it to Pearl. In for Granato. Kicked it behind the net. Granato puts it to the corner to Tocchet. Back for Granato. Watched there by Shamnov. Both clubs at full strength. 2:45 left in the opening period. The score 1-1. Cowie headed to buy him. Now has to go back for it. Slides it across. And the Kings send it out to center ice. And all the way down. Going forward is Manson. And that's icing with the Los Angeles Kings about shot the Jets 10-5. The score is 1-1.
Fantastic Christmas values. You'll find them at Future Shop on a huge selection of audio, video, computers, and appliances. Check out a 4-head hi-fi stereo remote VCR for only $278, or the Sharp 3 CD 80-watt mini system with 3-way speakers and remote for only $459, or a Hitachi camcorder with color viewfinder, $100 accessory pack, and no payments, no interest until October 1996, all for only $998. Fantastic Christmas values. You'll find them at Future Shop Discount Supercenters.
I love my car.
At McDonald Auto Body, we know what it's like to love your car. We've been in love with cars for over 50 years. And we're proud that our customers recommend McDonald Auto Body because they love the work we do and our written guarantee. So when your car needs body work, show how much you care.
I love my car.
We've been in love with cars for over 50 years.
Keith Tkachuk out to take a face-off, but he's not taking face-offs because of his thumb. Ed Olczyk is taking the face-off. Playing very well, not shooting the puck because of that thumb. High shooting percentage. When you don't take many shots, your percentage goes up.
Here's Solani in the corner. In the Los Angeles zone, gets it back. The shot by Thompson. Handled easily by Defoe. Put it behind the net. Boucher trying to clear it. Can't get it by. Thompson lets it go again. It's deflected up and over top. And now Finn with it. Gives it to Conacher. There's going to be a penalty to the Los Angeles Kings.
Ed Olczyk's getting to play more, and he's playing much better. He's driving to the net. Steve Finn took Eddie down, and Ed has always been a good actor throughout his career. This one, he dove straight into the ice, and Steve Finn ends up taking the interference penalty.
So we'll get a look at the Jet power play. A reminder that in the first intermission, we'll hear from Kerry Wilson and Joe Pascucci. Also a between periods feature on a Jets practice. And take a look at the MTS NHL scoreboard and of highlights of the game between the New Jersey Devils and the Wallace, Keenless Montreal Canadiens.
The Wallace, I like that, the Wallace.
Jets send out Olczyk, along with Tkachuk, Shamnov, Drake it is, and Turcotte is out with Manson. Now Drew starts out for the Kings. Here's Drewson across the line, puts it deep into the corner. Drews goes after him. Stopped in his tracks by Olczyk. Now it goes to Manson. Manson puts it back. Manson gets it again, works in front of his goal and takes it away. He's got Kachuk with it, trying to lead pass for Olczyk. It went right in on Defoe, knocked into the corner. Olczyk goes after it there. Behind the net to Drake. He gives to Kachuk. Kachuk back to the point, Manson. Manson back for Kachuk, tied up by Cowie. Manson gets it again. Pass knocked down, and it's grabbed by Kachuk. Now picked up by Turcotte. Turcotte for Olczyk. He fires it in, takes a weird hop. Cowie sends it off the glass and all the way down the ice. A minute 5 left in the penalty, a minute 14 in the period. Here's Kachuk, gives to Turcotte, a shot, and Defoe falls on top of it.
Philippe Boucher did a good job blocking that shot from Darren Turcotte. Byron Defoe, easy save just to fall on it. Winnipeg Jets power play has really come to life in the last 5 games. 7 for 23, playing very well, and that's without Keith Kachuk. With that hand the way it is, he's played pretty well, but it has to hurt the way he can handle the puck, the way he can shoot. There's Boucher blocking that shot from Turcotte. Boucher's not very agile, but he is very big, and when he is killing penalties, it's not as noticeable, his lack of skating ability.
Jets now have Korolev between Doan and Solani up front on the power play. Finley back with Shamnov. Here's Shamnov's shot. That one over top. It's into the corner. Korolev gets it now. Doan behind the goal. Solani back to the point. Last minute of the opening period. Here's Shamnov's shot. It goes to Korolev to the outside. Korolev works it back to Shamnov to Korolev. Korolev in deep. Doan. Doan slides it in behind. Long has it there for the Kings. Can't get it out. It's taken by Korolev. Back it goes to Shamnov to Korolev. No traffic in front. Puts it down to the corner to Doan. Doan is run into by Sador, and the Kings clear it away. Finley, 25 seconds in the period. Gets it to Doan. Doan at the line. Had it knocked back. Shamnov has it blocked to the Finley. Finley fires it in. And back forward is Cowie. Cowie gets it to center. Stop there. Now the Jets, Solani tried it for Doan. The penalty to Finn is over. 7 seconds left in the period. Cowie does a spin, works his way to center. Here's Cowie with Gretzky. Back to Cowie, and he put it wide. And runs out the period. Great play by Cowie until it came time for the finish.
Cowie and Gretzky, and that would have been interesting because the clock was running down. Cowie to Gretzky. Cowie goes to the net and then just misses the net as Tim Cheveldae came sliding over.
So the score after 1 period is the Los Angeles Kings 1, the Winnipeg Jets 1. Stand by for our first intermission with Joe Pascucci and Kerry Wilson on CKND Winnipeg TV.
So, William, do you know what today is?
Yes, Jacques. Today is our 243rd straight day in this cold, unforgiving wilderness.
No, William, today is Christmas. We are lucky, my friend. Good fire, fresh snow, a true Canadian Christmas.
If only we had some of that true Canadian lager for a holiday toast.
Yes, well, it's the thought that counts.
Delicious ingredients comes pot of gold, the gift that's wrapped in a rainbow.
Hot, fresh, fast, Subway.
It's Subway's new grilled chicken sandwich, like nothing you've ever tasted.
Hot, fresh, fast, Subway.
It's succulent, boneless chicken breast grilled to perfection with your choice of fresh fixins on Subway's fresh baked bread to bring you the ultimate grilled chicken sandwich.
For a limited time, get our 6-inch grilled chicken sub for only $3.69.
Subway's the place where fresh is the taste.
Forzani's is very cool. For Christmas.
Santa's Locker Room sale at Forzani starts Thursday, 10 a.m. with hundreds of very cool footwear and clothing deals from Nike, Adidas, Converse, Converse gift pack, 1 t-shirt, 1 jammer, and 1 fleece pant, all 3 for just $36.99. See Wednesday's paper for Frizani's huge 8-page flyer. Santa's locker room sale starts Thursday, 10 a.m. at all Frizani's locations.
Frizani's is very cool. For Christmas.
Well, there's always a traffic jam in Los Angeles, and the parking lot is full out in front of the Great Western Forum. The Jets and the Kings tied at 1 after 20 minutes, and Kerry Wilson, Cowie missed it by that much at the end of the period. A sluggish first period for the Winnipeg Jets. Yes.
Yes, it was. I think they started out a little bit slow, but Eastwood's goal seemed to pick things up for them and get a little bit more wind in their sails. But then, of course, LA came back and tallied to even up the score.
Well, Mike Eastwood scoring for the first time since October 17th, his 4th of the season, and was a great individual effort.
Yes, it was. And the 2 goals were similar, but 2 different types of players. Shannon puts it back behind the net. Eastwood grabs it. He reads Sador trying to flush him out from the side. He comes around, out-muscles Sador very well, and catches Byron down against his post and is able to flush it in the far side.
It seemed that the LA Kings had the majority of the play and took it to the Jets for most of that period, and it finally paid off for them on the power play. The rookie, Vitaly Yashmanev, scoring.
Well, Yashmanev does a very good job taking the puck to the net, but Gretzky starts the play a la Gretzky the way he does. He ends up getting the puck behind the net. He pulls the Jets players to him and then dishes it right back. Everyone's facing the wrong way. But here, Yashmanev, a real goal scorer. Most players, 9 out of 10 players, are going to take the puck to the front of the net and try and jam it. He does a beautiful fake, pulls Chevy over to the far side, gets him off his post, and then just tucks it in the short side while he's got both skates well behind the net. Just a beautiful goal to watch.
Well, as John Garrett said, that was a goal scorer's goal. His 11th goal of the season, 22nd point. He leads all rookies in the National Hockey League. Well, the Jets didn't have that pregame skate. We told you about that. I guess they'll have their skating legs in the second period.
Well, you got to hope so, that they come out. And I think what they've really got to look to do here is tidy up their own end. They've got to do things like what coaches call simple things. And this is when the puck is between the hash marks and the blue line, they got to get the puck out there. A few times during this period, they just didn't get the puck out. And consequently, the Kings came back, got some good scoring chances. They've got to concentrate on getting the puck out of the zone when they're in that area.
Yeah, the Jets a little fortunate to be tied with the LA Kings after 1 period of play in Inglewood. Coming up next as our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues, Chris King, the captain of the Jets, will take us through a Jets practice as we go between periods. The Jets and Kings tied at 1. Our Molson hockey telecast continues.
Outside of this box of Russell Stover chocolates, life has changed in the last 70 years. But inside, very little has changed. We still use time-honored recipes and only fine ingredients. That's why we can guarantee fresh taste and home-fashioned goodness in every piece. It's a tradition that's now available in Canada. Nobody does chocolate like Russell Stover does chocolate.
Dead batteries, flat tires, stuck cars. They're facts of life. Fact is, 140,000 Manitobans depend on their CAA membership every year. For over 90 years, we've been providing the finest emergency road service.
Right on time, fast, and we were happy to see them.
Face facts. You may need our help today.
For everywhere you go today, go with CAA.
Day after day, you see the same thing. Car and truck buyers driving all over Manitoba looking for great deals, only to end up at the home of the big buy, Jim Goche. And then they ask, how do you always have the best prices? And how can you sell your cars and trucks for so much less than everybody else? Well, the answer is easy. Volume! If you don't come see the big guy today, he can't save you any money.
On McPhillips, north of Inkster.
Excuse me, Santa? Would you mind moving a little more into the light?
Well, actually, I'm kind of busy, but let's see. Here, this'll help.
Now there's a film designed to enhance your camera's performance in virtually any light. Fujifilm Super G Plus, the most advanced film for today's automatic cameras.
Promotional consideration provided by...
No matter what you drive, and no matter when you drive it, from extreme cold to extreme heat, count on Delco batteries. Dependable power.
The Jets and Kings played 20 minutes at the Forum in Inglewood, and we are between periods. The Jets' 5-game homestand was quite successful last week, but after a couple of wins, the Jets had a terrible effort versus the Blues. At practice the next day, it was important for the Jets to get themselves back on track.
Just stay in our lanes and pass the puck. Pretty much just get the skate legs going, get into some bigger drills. Hey, Dirk, if I pass it here, you curl with me away. That's the one. Just our stretch. Make sure you don't pull any muscles. Q, get out here. Q, let's go. Little goalie warm-up. Supposed to hit the net. Not a bad start. Chevy's going to get about 9,000 shots today. Shot! This drill just kind of shows how you penetrate the zone and the other team's end on a rush. That is, Walt, that's it. Trying to get guys driving to the net. Cause the defense to have to make a decision, open some ice up. Poor Chevy's just getting peppered today. We're working on our breakouts, a couple new ones. If you're under pressure, neutral zone regroups, and shot on net.
Back to him, Brett. Back to him, Brett, now.
Too high arc.
Alex, swing low.
Smooth, Dally. Go, Donor, go, Donor, go. That's it, gang. Good job. Be ready tomorrow here. Like I say, it's tough practice because we only got one goalie. But just want to move the puck around, get our feet moving. 5 games in 8 days. You don't want to tire yourselves out too much. Probably should have got skated pretty hard today because of our effort, but there it goes.
The Jets certainly did respond, though, with a tie against the Blackhawks and a win over the Flames. When our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues, life after Rouen. See how the Montreal Canadiens did against the New Jersey Devils tonight.
Win big bucks with the Big Blue. If you haven't bought your Windfall Lottery ticket yet, now's the time. There's still lots of chances to win. Daily draws, bonus cash, and the grand prize of $50,000. Plus, ticket holders can now save 20% off any regular priced item over $200 at all People's Jewelers locations. Tickets are only $40 or 3 for $100. To order, call 987-1914 or 1-800-665-7800. And you could be $50,000 richer by Christmas.
There's only one way to beat winter in Manitoba. 4-wheel drive from Winnipeg Jeep Eagle.
The 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee is Canada's best all-terrain vehicle, combining safety, elegance, and 4x4 toughness. The Jeep Cherokee, still Manitoba's favorite 4-wheel drive utility vehicle. And don't forget the Eagle Talon, the all-wheel drive sports car. Sure-footed traction in all conditions, plus the guaranteed lowest prices and lowest lease rates at Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, Western Canada's largest volume Jeep Eagle dealership. 1430 Ellis, just a slap shot from the arena.
The human face, difficult terrain, perfect for Braun's new 3-stage shaving system. One foil removes short hairs, an integrated cutter, longer hairs. The second foil completes the job. For Braun's closest shave yet.
Play Safeway's Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win an IBM Aptiva multimedia computer, a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven, Dirt Devil's MVP and Dust Devil from Royal Appliance, or $300 in MasterCard traveler's checks from the Bank of Montreal. You can also win a trip for 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Mott's Clamato. and Safeway Select Indulgence Cookies. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
What do a lion, a toucan, and a reindeer have in common? The answer? 100,000 lights. Come to Lights of the Wild at the Assiniboine Park Zoo, December 16th through January 7th. Sponsored in part by CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Let's check out what is happening around the National Hockey League, courtesy of MTS. 4 other games taking place tonight. All of them are finals, starting with the Islanders and Hartford. The Whalers winning it 7-4. And Nelson Emerson, his 2 goals were on the power play. Montreal Canadiens and the New Jersey Devils, and all 3 traded players in uniform tonight. Martin Rucinski, Andrei Kovalenko, and Jocelyn Thibault still wearing his Avalanche colors. Kovalenko helps the Habs open the scoring, digs out the puck, feeds Vinny Damfouche for the empty netter. Power play goal, 1-0 for the Habs. Montreal added to that leap year, Turgeon Flass beating Brodeur 2-0 after 1. That's his 12th of the season. Jersey then battled their way back into it in the second. Scott Stevens' point shot deflected by Peter Satora, and it's 2-1. That was a power play goal. And then another power play, Steve Thomas hammers the feed from Abilene Satora. Will tip it home again, his 7th year. We're tied at 2 after 2. Watch this play by Oleg Petrov in the third. Weaves some magic, finds the cage behind Brodeur. 3-2 Canadians at that point. Damfouche added an empty netter, so Montreal wins its first game after the big Patrick Waugh trade. They end a 5-game winless streak with a 4-2 victory. Tampa Bay over Anaheim 2-1. The Mighty Ducks winless in 7. And Chicago and the Rangers play to a 5-5 overtime tie. That single point, though, moved the Blackhawks into a tie with the Jets and the Maple Leafs for second place in the Central Division. Our score, the Jets and the Kings tied at 1. You're up to date on the NHL courtesy of MTS. Second period action coming your way as our Molson Hockey telecast continues.
Whether you're warming up or hitting full stride, you want to look and feel your best. At Athletes Wear, we've got the best selection for all your clothing and footwear needs. The competition won't be able to give you the slip when you're wearing D-Gel broom ball and spongy shoes. D-Gel, the best shoes in the game, and we've got hundreds in stock. Athletes Wear, still the right choice.
The choice is there. Athletes Wear.
No matter what type or size of business you have, Mind Computer Products is your solutions provider.
And for home, Mind has Manitoba's largest computer product showroom filled with great product of the week specials like these.
The Mind Ultimate 533 Ultimate Performance, 133 megahertz Pentium processor, 16 megs of RAM, and 1 gigabyte hard drive. Feel the power. And the Hewlett-Packard DeskJet 600C color printing for home or office, just $429.
Mind Computer Products.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by MTS, Canadian Tire, Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, 1430 Ellisette Arena Road, and by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
Back at the Great Western Forum as we prepare for the second period. It's 1-1. And taking a look at the summary, Mike Eastwood scored for the Jets at 3:41. The assist going to Shannon and Drake. They had originally announced it was Doan, but they've changed the second assist to Drake. And then the Kings tied it up on the power play. Yachmanev with his 11th from Gretzky and Sador. The Kings outshot the Jets 10-7. The Kings 1 for 2 on the power play. The Jets 0 for 1.
Jets did a pretty good road job. We talked about Teemu Selanne before the game, how he'd have to play defense, but look at the numbers on offense for Teemu Selanne, a little over 3 years, and he's right up there. And you take into consideration the Achilles tendon injury and all the games he missed, and Teemu Selanne still 136 goals. Pavel Bure's not going to get any more this year, but Alexander McGillney just keeps rolling along and adding to his total. I wonder about Red Light Ray, now that he's playing in San Jose, how his production is going to... He's been pretty good. He's averaging more than a point a game for San Jose, but I wonder how long that will continue when you don't have Paul Coffey feeding you those nice passes.
Well, it's been a tough go for San Jose recently. They got bombed again the other day, and of course, changed coaches. The Jets will be there tomorrow night. And then we'll go back home for a Sunday encounter. Now the puck is dumped into the Kings zone. Here's Solani. Puts it in behind the net. It's grabbed by Long trying to get out. Long slides it up the right side to Bruce. Bruce gets it over on the left side. Cowie shot a riser. And it's held on to by Shovelday.
Rob Cowie is showing some offensive signs. He got the tying goal Saturday night. And he's a guy that you don't notice. He's been up and down from the minors, and I'm sure Tim Shovelday hasn't seen him play very much, and he can surprise you with that shot. He beat Andy Moog from the blue line on Saturday night, and Tim Shovelday had trouble with that long shot. It hits him in the arm. He tries to get the right hand up, but he doesn't get it up quickly enough. So he takes it off the arm and then has to hang on.
Gretzky and Olczyk face off in the circle to the right of Shovelday. Gretzky wins it cleanly back to Cowie. Here's shot. It went off a body. Now it's picked up by Tkachuk. Tkachuk's pass out to center ice. One up on the stick of McSorley. Now it's sent back to Chuck and Kristich. It goes to Thompson. Now Tkachuk gains the line. Winds it up. Lets it go. And it's kicked out by Defoe. Puck is left in the corner. Now sent out to center ice. And with it there, Manson drives it into Kings territory. Manson has it again at center, tried to dump it in. That bounced off Kristich, picked up by Quint. Quint gets it out to center, picked up by Olczyk. On the right side, Solani. Solani looks in front. Here's Tkachuk in a goal. He appeared to have the netminder beat but missed the net. Now here's Solani to Tkachuk, a shot. Rebound, Tkachuk again in front. Tried it back for Manson, and that went all the way to center. Manson fires it in, and Cowie starts out. Lead pass to Kristich in behind the defense, but getting back to knock it away from him was Daryl Shannon. Here's Doan with it now for Winnipeg. Doan works it out to center. Todd in pursuit. It's dumped in behind the net. It goes to the corner, picked up there again by Doan. Out front for King. Taken from him by Finn. Finn moves away. Gets the pass ahead to center. That's taken by Yachmanev. He's checked. Doan starts back with King, who takes the pass. King over the line with Doan and Turcotte. King shot. And a save. There's going to be a penalty against the Los Angeles Kings for interference.
Teemu Selanne has bulked up this season. He's played every game, and I think part of it has to do with the fact that he is much stronger. He's more prepared. He has his head up more. Marty McSorley tries to take a run at Selanne. Selanne sees him coming. Here comes McSorley. Teemu gets the arms up, and it's Marty McSorley who ends up flat on his back.
Selanne out now on the power play for Winnipeg as Yachmanev goes to the box.
I thought it was Steve Finn who was getting the penalty for the big hit in front, but it was Yachmanev away from the play that gets the interference call. Keith Tkachuk did have the goaltender beaten, Byron Defoe, on that chance. He slid it right through the crease. He was at a tough angle, but he had him clean and then just slid it clean through.
Somehow I think if there hadn't been a cast on the thumb, that might have been a different outcome. Now the puck is in the Kings zone. Selanne run into. Puck is picked up and cleared away. And going back to get it is Shamnov. To the man advantage. Here's Alexei Shamnov. 1-1 the score early in the second. Gets it over to Korolev. He fires it into the Kings zone. Selanne after it in the corner. Puts it in deep now for Doan. Doan in traffic, working there against Cowie. Gives it to Selanne. Selanne back to the point. Finley. Back to Selanne with Korolev in front. Now here's the pass in deep. Doan trying to put it in. Stopped there by the bull. Now it's the Kings can't clear. Shamnov into the corner. Korolev. Korolev back, and his pass was airborne and went by Shamnov all the way down. Here's Finley. Finley looks ahead for Olczyk. Had to wait for it at the line to prevent being offside, and it forced him to circle back. Now Finn fires it into the Jet zone. Back deep to get it is Finley. Finley behind his goal. Watched there by Conacher. 3 minutes gone in the period. 49 seconds left in that penalty to Yachmanev as Tkachuk gets in across the line. Barges down into the corner. Takes it behind the goal. Over now for Olczyk. Olczyk back. Manson. Manson gets it across. Turcotte shot. He got all of that one but missed. Here's Selanne. Selanne against Sador. Sador's pass. And that goes all the way down the ice. Forward is Manson. Manson over to Turcotte on the move at center. Gains the Kings line. Turcotte looks in front at Olczyk. Feeds it instead to Manson. Manson lets it go. Deflected in front. There's going to be, well, it's knocked down by a high stick. Way down now. It's sent back to the blue line. Hit all the way down. And it runs out the penalty to Vitaly Achmanev. Turcotte. To Manson. To center ice. McSorley puts it back in. Turcotte with it again. Approached by Achmanev. Dumped it out over center and all the way down. In behind the goal, Darren Shannon takes it. Darren Shannon stops, looks in front, feeds it back. Darren Shannon shot. The goal. Grabs. Can't hold on. Now they whistle to play dead. Darren Shannon found the puck and sent it out to his brother.
Today's world of beers, Molson Special Dries in a world all its own.
Hi, I'm Gerald Wilcox. As you may know, I play a little football here in Manitoba. I've realized to be the best at what you do, to be a true professional and winner, requires a lot of hard work and dedication. And a real competitive attitude sure doesn't hurt. You know who's got it, don't you?
The difference is, you got it, the people at Park Pontiac.
Jets haven't seen Byron Defoe play very much. Not at all this year. This is their first matchup. There he is, well out on the power play. You have to pass it around when the goalie comes out that much.
Here's Darren Shannon in behind the Kings goal. Gets it over to Drake. Drake in front, and Eastwood alone in front, but he couldn't handle a pass. Here's Eastwood. Steals it at center, moves down into the King zone, sends it back right onto the stick of Granato. Granato puts it on the right side. That's taken and dumped in by Todd. And going back to get it is Darryl Shannon. Around for Eastwood. Tipped into the middle to Drake. He gives it to Malkunas. Long shot. Defoe holds on as Eastwood is cruising in.
And for Mike Eastwood, he was all alone and just missed that pass out as the Jets had a good forecheck going. Look at the old, not so fabulous forum with all the new buildings, Kurt. This one is, it looks a lot better from the outside than it does from the inside. And there's talk they are going to build a new building. We were talking to Rogie Vachon this morning, and there's a number of different sites that they're looking for and looking at right now here in Los Angeles. Winnipeg Jets, long shot at Stuart Malgunas, right on Byron Defoe, and again, he's well outside the crease, cutting down the angle, making that save.
Jets have outshot the Kings 5-1 so far in the second period. Here's Granato. Moves into the Jets on, puts it in deep for Tocchet. Check Manson gets it out of the linesman, and Finn with it. He flips it back in. Manson waits. Manson dumps it out the center, just beyond the reach of Solani. It goes all the way down. Defoe puts it to the corner. Here's Olczyk in front. Kachuk shot that went over top. Now Granato looks ahead to Tocchet. Pass by him. Tocchet takes it back from Quint. Now puts it over to Todd. Todd into Tocchet. Tocchet in front. Charging at the net was Granato. And his redirection went over top. Here's Manson. For Kachuk. Kachuk looks into the middle. Holds on to it. Gains the line. Kachuk drops it off to Quint. The shot kicked out by Defoe. Cowie can't get it by Solani at the point. He puts it across. Into the corner again is Cowie. Cowie is checked. Here's Kachuk. Comes around and dump it in deep. That was taken by Tocchet. Went out to the jet line with it there is Finley. Finley tried it for Kachuk. They got there in time. Kachuk puts it back to Shamnov. Shamnov goes to the... Here's Shamnov weaving his magic, trying to work it in front. Stopped at the point, down Manson dumps it in. Todd bats it out of the air. Curry. And pucks everywhere, but on the stick. Now it goes to McKenzie. McKenzie looks out at Shamrock, trying to get there. Can't now. Shamrock goes and gets it, takes it in front, backhand. Knocked down, and Curry takes it away for the Kings. Curry moves up to the line, drops it off to Lacroix. His pass across the shot. Wyborough saved by Cheveldain. He's on top of it.
Yannick Perreault in one of those 30-foot line changes where he jumps off one end of the bench and the player coming off the ice gets off the other end, and that's why Perreault is so wide open. There's the sixth man just going to the bench, and Perreault is taking the shot. Tim Cheveldain makes a great save, but that was another one of those line changes, Kurt, where we could see in the first replay they had 6 guys on the ice, and the guy is taking the shot.
Jets playing San Jose tomorrow and then move on to play at home on Sunday night against the Washington Capitals. And you can purchase tickets by calling 780-SEAT.
Washington Capitals Sunday, and then the Montreal Canadiens are in town
on Wednesday. Here's Sador's shot. That goes wide. Now it's centered. Curry bats away. He scored!
Tim Cheveldain makes a couple of great saves on Jari Kurri. Jets defense gets behind the net. There's one, there's two, and then finally Kurri slides it underneath them. Finley and Thompson both get distracted. Perreault takes Finley. Thompson's in behind the net, and there's Jari Kurri all by himself. Derek Turcotte comes back, but he's too late.
Sixth goal of the season for Jari Kurri, and the Kings have a 2-1 lead. Now here's King, takes it in deep. He's checked, and Gretzky flips it out over center. Lacroix and Sador draw the assists on that goal. Now with it is Kurri again. A shot. It goes free, picked up by Doan, gets it to the blue line. Here's Cowie shot. That goes up. Cheveldain high. Now Quinn gives to Kurri. Curry's fast to center ice. Doan winds up, fakes it. Here's Doan, goes around Cowie, takes it in behind the net, looks for help, sends it back to the blue line. Quick directs it in, and Kristich takes it out, gives it to Gretzky. Over now to McSorley, in across the line. McSorley indeed, checked there by Manson. Now Kristich puts it out. It's picked up now by King. King's pass went off Yachmanev. Quinn and Gretzky in the center ice area. It goes to Yachmanev. Across to McSorley. McSorley's shot that was knocked away by Manson. Now picked up by Yachmanev. Gets it across. Here's Finn's shot that went wide, and then goes all the way down the ice. 2-1, the Kings lead. 8:10 gone in the second period. McSorley to Finn. Finn dumps it off Cruz. Cruz trying to get by Daryl Shannon. Regains possession. Puts it back. Long backhand. Long gets it again. In front. The shot. They score. Conacher was all by himself.
Team defense, Terry Simpson talked about it. You have to come back. Drews takes Malgunas deep, and there goes Keith Tkachuk right by Conacher. Conacher just swipes at it. Conacher's there, but then he circles. You can see him. Keith Tkachuk go right by Conacher, and then Keith decides he's going to come back, but that's too late. The defense looked. Tkachuk was with Conacher until the last minute, and then he left him. Conacher had all sorts of time to beat Tim Cheveldain.
So suddenly it's a 3-1 hockey game. The Kings lead it. Here's Bruce after it again down deep. Daryl Shannon trying to get it out. Get some help from Olczyk. Then it's fired back in. Now puck in behind the net. Bruce persistent. Bruce trying to work it. Puts it down into the corner. Long paddling there with Olczyk. Now Conacher has it. Puts it back to Long. Both bombs at full strength. Long takes it back. Goes to the high slot. Backhand. And that goes out of play. But this line totally dominant right now. against the Jets. Conacher, Long, and Bruce. 3-1, the Jets lead. 9:03 gone in the second period.
Loaf, grilled cheese, macaroni and cheese tortellini, cheese dogs. Spaghetti with cheese melts, cheese lasagna, cheese casserole, cheese dip.
You'll never run out of things to make, as long as you never run out of cheese.
Cheese pancake, cheese crumpet.
When you've got cheese, you've got choice.
Cheese quiche.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win a set of quality appliances from Tefal. A 20-piece set of Mikasa fine china in the Currents pattern. A Gold Star Start Touch 2 VCR. Or a Texas Instruments personal organizer. You could also win a trip for two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Tropicana Premium Pure Orange Juice, and Purex Bathroom Tissue. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Conacher line, good forechecking, and finally the Jets have to take a penalty. Stuart Malgunas goes off for interference. It could have been holding or hooking. He took his man, but it was definitely a penalty.
So the Kings of the man advantage. Puck goes free to Shamnov, and he dumps it all the way down the ice. Curry is back with Sador. Todd is up front on the power play, along with Dockett and Granato. Here's Curry. Gets it ahead to center ice, taken by Todd, gets it across the line. Granato gives chase. It's taken instead by Darren Shannon. Puts it in behind his own goal. Todd is there, gives to Granato. Granato gets it back toward the blue line. It goes down to Curry. Curry puts it down deep. Todd with it. Traffic in front. Todd lets it go. Saves Shovelday. Eastwood to Shannon. And Darren Shannon dumps it all the way down. A minute 14 left in the penalty to Stu Malgunas. 3-1, the Kings lead at the midway mark of period 2. Curry behind his goal, waiting for some changes on the power play. Now works it up the middle. It's the center, tried to flip it in, stopped by Daryl Shannon. There's a collision back at the Jets blue line as Yachmanev is chased back into his own zone by King. Gives to McSorley. McSorley's pass into the middle, Gretzky. Into Curry, to Gretzky. Gretzky lets it go. He scored!
To Wayne Gretzky passing, and Tim Shovelday goes over, and you can almost see him thinking pass. He loses the net, loses the angle, and Gretzky beats him far side. Shovelday's looking around, and he knows he's in too deep. He looks back, and this shot beats him, and it's not right inside the post. It's got about 8 inches inside the post because Shovelday lost the net.
3 goals in 3 minutes and 26 seconds, and the Kings have a 4-1 lead. Now it's dumped by the Jets all the way down the ice. Taken by Finn, and that's icing against Winnipeg. The Jets started this period out shooting the Kings and carrying the play, but once the Kings turned it around, it has stayed in Winnipeg territory.
And the quality of chances against Tim Shovelday have just been all LA.
Canadian Tire has great prices on everything you need. Plus, earn Canadian Tire money with every cash purchase of merchandise. Great prices made better at Canadian Tire.
That's Wayne Gretzky's first goal since November 16th.
Here's a backhand by Rose as he walked in from the corner. Now Solani puts it behind his goal to Olczyk. He tried it for Carlisle. Back it goes to Finley. It is. Finley puts it around on the boards. Grabbed there and stuffed out the center ice by Thompson. And the Kings, Boucher in the long for Drews. Drews gets up across the line. Drews is checked. Solani turns it around. Solani lead pass just too far for Korolev. It goes deep. Korolev is back with Boucher. And that play is whistled down.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you can enjoy the holiday spirit of giving.
4-1, the Kings lead.
Time again for the annual Kings for Kids toy drive. 1 week from tonight.
Last year, Winnipeg police stopped more than 11,000 vehicles at check stops and charged 61 people with impaired driving. That's 61 too many. If you've had too much cheer this holiday season, please don't drink and drive. Call a cab or Operation Red Nose. Volunteer drivers from Manta Swim Club will drive you and your vehicle home safely. So don't drink and drive. Call Operation Red Nose at 478-1116. Supported by Manitoba Public Insurance and CKND Newsline.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win an IBM Aptiva multimedia computer, a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven, Dirt Devil's MVP and Dust Devil from Royal Appliance, or $300 in MasterCard Traveler's checks from the Bank of Montreal. You could also win a trip for two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Unico Pasta and Safeway Select Indulgence Cheesecakes. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Tim Shovelday gets the feet moving and never gets set. The pass comes back and Shovelday's still sliding. And Wayne Gretzky not going to miss if you give him a little room, and Shovelday gave him lots of room to the far side. Gretzky made no mistake.
Now the Kings have scored 3 goals in the last 6 shots to take that 4-1 lead. Here's Tkachuk. Dropped it off. Break. Knocked down. Puck goes in deep. Taken behind by Perreault. Looks up the middle to Curry. Curry saw Manson coming. Now gets the pass over. Intercepted it was by Quinn, who sends it back. And now with it, Sador. Check by Olczyk. And Drake mishandles. Almost with a breakaway. Drake gets it back now for Tkachuk. Went off him. Perreault takes it. And the Kings dump it out to center ice. Manson fires it back in. Sador chased by Olczyk. Gets it around. Tipped out to center ice. Curry. Fires it into the Jet zone. Back for is Thompson. Brad Thompson lugs it to center. Dumps it across the line. Sit back. Todd knocked it down into his own zone of McSorley. He takes it behind. Turcotte goes after him. Forces a turnover. Doan trying to feed it back. The pass intercepted. Now Todd spins with it. Kevin Todd. He lost it. Doan. Quick shot rebound. He scored. Chris King. Doan forced it up, Todd, and King put it home.
And that's Chris King's first goal, first point since November 3rd. And that all started with Darren Turcotte on Marty McSorley. Created the first turnover. There's a shot by Aaron Defoe with a good save. Now Chris King pulls it to his backhand, gets it up and over the fallen goaltender. Defoe makes a good save on the first shot from Doan, but then he's out of position. And Chris King makes no mistake. And that should slow things down. It was all LA, and now a big goal by the checking line to get the Jets back in it.
Time of goal, 12-22.
6th goal of the year for Chris King. 12-22. The lone assist goes to rookie Shane Doan.
Time of the goal, 12-22.
So it's 4-2. The Kings lead it.
They should almost give Darren Turcotte an assist for creating the original turnover on Marty McSorley. He forechecked, hit McSorley, created the turnover, and eventually they scored. There's the turnover. Turcotte on McSorley. Doan gets the shot. It's still in the Kings zone, and that all started with the turnover from McSorley. Doan's shot, and then Chris King makes no mistake.
Yes, good forechecking by Doan, and Turcotte eventually led to that goal by King.
And Chris King looked like a goal scorer with that. Pulled it back, got it up and over the goaltender.
Here's Korolev, takes it deep. Now trying to work it in front. Check. Kristich back. Here's Quinn's drive. The save by Defoe. And Gretzky takes it away for the Kings. Puts it over now to Yachmanev. He gains the line. Drop to Gretzky. Gretzky centers. Right onto the stick of Solani. And he takes it away for Winnipeg. Solani's pass for Korolev. Here's Korolev reaching for it. And Boucher knocked it away. Korolev into the corner now for Solani. Solani in traffic. Kristich takes it away. And the Kings got off. 3-on-2. The pass to Gretzky in the middle. Dropped it back to Kristich. His center. And that was picked off. Turning it around is Solani. Solani gets over the line. And Yachmanev. Ahead now for Kristich. Over to Yachmanev. Has to spin to pick it up. Drake having trouble with it. Now it goes free. Yachmanev is built into the ice by the left fist of Manson. And here's Korolev. Gets to center. Drives it in wide. After there is Drake against Sador. Long. Grabs the loose puck, looks for some room, finds some, moves out to center ice. And Long trying to go through the defense, gets the shot away. Cheveldae kicks it out. Conacher in the corner against Malgunas. 4 of them battle for it. Now it's still loose in the Jets on Long. In for Conacher. Conacher sends it to the corner. Drews goes after it. Drews back for Conacher. And with it is Tkachuk trying to get by Drews. Puck goes out to center. Grabbed there by Drake. Drake back for Olczyk. In front. Now it goes into Drake behind the net. Olczyk. Olczyk looks to the side. Tkachuk is there. Now puts it over to Drake. A shot. And the save by Defoe. Here's Daryl Shannon. Holds it in. Puck goes to Drake. Drake checked by Long. And he knocks it all the way down. The Jets scored that goal to make it 4-2. And Estelle Matheson is our next lucky winner in the Safeway Score and Win contest by including a Ragu sauces proof of purchase and entering at Safeway. Estelle, you won a set of Dirt Devil vacuums from Royal Appliances.
And that goal seems to have given the Jets a lot more jump. They sagged for about 10 minutes. And it was all L.A. And now the checking line comes out. Chris Kane gets a goal, and the Jets are right back in it. Lots more life.
I didn't want you to change your travel arrangements or whatever it is, but I mentioned before that Montreal game is Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yes.
I'm just kind of getting used to these televised games being on Wednesday, and now we're going to have one on Tuesday. All right, we got her figured out. Now the puck in behind the net. With it is Cowie, chased there by Darren Shannon. Now it goes straight to Eastwood. Eastwood gets it over to Darren Shannon. He's checked. Curry with it. Ahead now for Perreault. Perreault fakes the shot and then puts it into the corner. Back for it. Thompson around for Darren Shannon. Intended for Eastwood. Stopped by McSorley. Back for it. Goes McSorley. Ahead now for Curry. Curry's pass. Out with it is Cowie. Cowie puts it to the jet line. Finley steers it out. And McSorley has it now. McSorley works to center. His pass goes onto the stick of Solani. Takes it back for Winnipeg. Solani takes it, trying to beat Cowie. Cuts at the net. Takes it in behind. Center's head. And it will off a skate. Now picked up again by Solani. Solani back into the corner. With it there, Korolev. In front, Solani charging at the net, poked it wide. Solani gets it back to the point. Quick shot. Is picked up by Curry, and he cleared it away. Cheveldae has the play. Puts it ahead now to Manson. Manson. Got it at center. Curry knocked it down. It goes. Taken in by Todd, walking in. He scored! Kevin Todd walked in alone and made Connick. Big Cheveldae.
We were talking about Dave Manson before the game, Kurt, and how well he's played and how disciplined he's been. Well, on this one, he tries to play the puck on Kevin Todd. You can see him wave at it. And you can't do that. Todd pulled it in. Manson waves at the puck. Todd goes right around him. And then he comes in on Tim Cheveldae. Heads up, fakes the shot, goes to the forehand, and makes sure by getting it up and over the leg. Earlier, Teemu Selanne tried to wrap around, but he couldn't get the puck out far enough. It goes off the end of his stick. And what a turnaround that goal is. It was the Jets were coming on, and now they're sagging again.
Here's Tocchet. He centers it. It goes to Solani. Takes it away to center ice. 5-2. The Kings lead on that goal by Kevin Todd. Here's Manson at center. Puts it into the Los Angeles zone. Now Boucher. Ahead for Tocchet. Dumped in. Cheveldae. One hands it around for Solani. Solani steered it outside. That hit Todd on his way to the bench. Now it goes to Shamnov. Shamnov with Solani in across the line. Pass in front of Manson. Goes all the way down. And it's cleared away by the Kings. Manson puts it in again. And with it now is Boucher. Gives to Gretzky. The captain of the Kings has to go back. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in this second period. The Kings 5, the Jets 2. It was 1-1 coming into the period. Finley behind his goal for Winnipeg. Puts it off the boards. Olczyk was after it. Stopped by Kristich. Now in the center ice area. They battle for it. It's taken by Kristich to Gretzky. Gretzky back for Kristich. In it, Kristich trying to work it in front. Now goes after it again. Stops. Puts it down deep. Thompson going after it. Working there against Yachmanev. Yachmanev moves it out in front. And he was dragged down. There's going to be a penalty to the Jets. Brent Thompson goes to the box with 2:18 left in the second.
The dock is in.
The dock is in.
The dock is in.
Legendary Tonight Show superstar Doc Severinsen and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra present 3 sensational shows.
The dock is in. The dock is in?
Doc Severinsen, master musician and showman, will dazzle you with his blazing trumpet, sparkling personality, and famous wardrobe.
The dock is in.
Doc Severinsen with the WSO Pops, December 7th, 9th, and 10th at the Concert Hall. Tickets now on sale.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win an IBM Aptiva multimedia computer, a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven, Dirt Devils MVP and Dust Devil from Royal Appliance, or $300 in MasterCard traveler's checks from the Bank of Montreal. You could also win a trip or 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. To enter, drop by your local Safeway, and when the Jets score on CKND, you could win. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Chicago Blackhawks picked up a point. They're in a 3-way tie as we look at the Winnipeg Jets, Colorado. And you wonder about Colorado and Detroit. Now, I know Scotty Bowman was in the bidding for Patrick Roy just because he didn't want Colorado to get him. And they'll face each other in the conference playoff somewhere along the line.
So the Jets shorthanded now with Thompson in the penalty box. It's dumped all the way down into the Kings zone, and the power play starts back. Here's Yachmanev to Gretzky for Kristich. Dumped in, Cheveldae shovels it around now for Darren Shannon. Can't get it out. Curry over, Sador shot, and it went off Eastwood, and it's a souvenir.
Critical penalty kill for the Winnipeg Jets as they started to come back after the Chris King goal. They had some pressure. Teemu Selanne had a couple of chances, but the Kings came right back and on the rush. Scored a pretty goal, and Kevin Todd went right in and beat Tim Cheveldae.
Kevin Todd mentioned being from Winnipeg and played his junior hockey for Terry Simpson for the Prince Albert Raiders. Face off in the Jet zone. Gretzky out on the power play. Gets it back to the point. Here's Curry. To Yachmanev to Curry. Over to Sador to Gretzky. Gretzky back to Sador. Over to Curry. In deep for Yachmanev. Trying to feed Kristich. It goes instead to Gretzky behind the goal. Gretzky looks in front. Still has it. Gretzky slides it in front. Then goes off Turcotte. Turcotte ahead for King. Stopped by Sador. Now King with it again. Swats it out. And back with it is Sador. Just over a minute left in the penalty. A minute 20 left in the second period. Here's Curry. Puts it over the line. Manson dumps it out. And that'll go all the way down. Both clubs make changes. With it again, Sador. Leading the power play out to center ice. Gains the line. Puts it over to Gretzky. To Curry. Tocchet's in front. The pass. Knocked down and went off Eastwood all the way back into the King zone. Sador watched by Darren Shannon. Darren Shannon comes up with a puck. Battle Sador for it. Shannon in the corner. Sador slides it back to Curry. 25 seconds left in the penalty. 42 seconds in the period. Curry to center. Puts it in. That bounces in on Cheveldae. Gets it to Eastwood. And he clears it away. Back for it goes Philippe Boucher. Pass on the left side. Taken by Perreault and Tocchet. Goes back now. Granato into Todd. Todd tripped up, goes to the front, and the Jets start away. Out of the penalty box is Manson. The Jets are 3-on-2. Here's Drake looking for a trailer, but it was offside.
Dallas Drake mishandled that puck at the blue line, put themselves offside. He's Tkachuk on the far side. Short-handed goals. The Winnipeg Jets killed that penalty off pretty well, but they didn't have any pressure to score. And when you're down 5-2, you'd like to see that. And they have some short-handed goals. Colorado Avalanche lead the league with 7.
Jets have got 6, 3 of those by Dallas Drake. 11 seconds left in the period. Boucher knocked it out to center ice. With it is Quint. Quint dumps it in. And that should do it for the second period.
A period where the Winnipeg Jets sagged for about 10 minutes, and it cost them as the LA Kings cashed in 3 quick ones. But they have to chip away. They've got a game against tomorrow night. You don't want the team to get into any bad habits. You start the third period, try and win the first 5 minutes, and then you never know what can happen.
So 5-2, the Kings lead the Jets. Stand by for the second intermission. We'll hear from Kerry Wilson and from Joe Pascucci. All coming up in the second intermission here on CKND, Winnipeg TV.
When you drive impaired, you're a danger to yourself and to others. As a parent, I realize there are more important things in life than one night of fun. So this holiday season, if you've had too much cheer, please call a cab or Operation Red Nose. Volunteer drivers from Manta Swim Club will drive you and your vehicle home safely. So don't drink and drive. Call Operation Red Nose at 478-1116 and get home to your family alive.
Supported by MPI and CKND Sportsline.
Hi, I'm Tammy. Tamara and I are champs, members of the War Amp Child Amputee Program. I lost my leg when I was 2. I chased a ball onto the street and was hit by a car. Now I warn young children to play safe. Remember, spot the danger before you play.
Safety is no accident, so play safe.
A message from the War Amps.
Introducing the amazing Chef's Little Secrets from SuperTech. To whip up a batch of tasty treats, simply use the bottom of one of the 3 special molds to cut out a circle of dough. Put the dough in the mold, add your favorite filling, then close firmly, and there you have it. Perfect turnovers ready for the oven. Create delicious stuffed pasta hors d'oeuvres, tasty meat ravioli, or delicate fruit pastries, because you've got the secret. The amazing Chef's Little Secrets in 3 convenient sizes from SuperTech.
Available at Canadian Tire, Zellers, Kmart, Superstore, Safeway, Byway, and other fine stores.
The dock is in.
The dock is in.
The dock is in.
Legendary Tonight Show superstar Doc Severinsen and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra present 3 sensational shows.
The dock is in.
The dock is in.
Doc Severinsen, master musician and showman, will dazzle you with his blazing trumpet, sparkling personality, and famous wardrobe.
The dock is in.
Doc Severinsen with the WSO Pops, December 7th, 9th, and 10th at the Concert Hall. Tickets now on sale.
Sluggish, disappointing, use any adjective you'd like. It wasn't a very good period for the Winnipeg Jets as they trailed the Los Angeles Kings 5-2. Kerry Wilson, the Jets started strong in that period, but somewhere along the line, the Kings just took the game away from them.
Well, they did. They came out strong, but lost it very quickly, and most of the period was from the Kings. They played a good, strong period and made the Jets make a lot of mistakes, especially in their own end. Jets fell behind 4-1 and then battled their way back into the game with a goal by Chris King. Well, they did a very good, hard-working goal. I think the Doan, Turcotte, King line is working the puck around very well here. They get McSorley to cough it up, and Doan does a very good job on his own here, works very hard, loses it, but gets it back, and then he's going to come around and finally get a shot on net, and that's what he's working hard at this whole time. Gets the Kings to cough up the puck, gets the shot on net, and Chris King jumps on it, makes no mistake, gets the puck right up over top. Chris King's 6th goal of the season and first goal in quite some time. All right, in that first period feature we showed you, the Jets were working on team defense, wanting to get the forwards to come back and help out, and that happened in that second period. Well, there's a very good example here where, and this is what Terry Simpson wants to see more out of Teemu Selanne. He comes back into his own end, steals the puck from Gretzky, trying to make a pass across, turns up ice very quickly and breaks the puck right out of his own end and makes a good pass. This is what they want to see more of their forwards doing, helping the defense out, coming right back and not leaving the zone until the players have control of the puck.
All right, the fifth goal in this game might be the backbreaker as far as the Winnipeg Jets are concerned. Kevin Todd against Dave Manson.
Well, that's a great adjective there, a backbreaker. Here he beats Dave Manson, catching him looking at the puck, and then makes a very good move on Cheveldae, fakes to the right, goes to the left, and has lots of net to shoot at, just buries it.
Do you think we may see the rookie, Scott Lankow, in that third period?
Well, there's a good possibility there. I think, I don't know what I'd do in this situation. It's a possibility, but, you know, Tim Cheveldae hasn't played that badly. I think, I don't know, I'd like to see him stick it out right now, but, you know, who knows?
The Jets do have another game tomorrow night as they continue this California road trip against the San Jose Sharks. 5-2, the Kings leading the Jets after 2 periods of play out in Inglewood. Coming up next, as our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues, we'll have a CK&D Newsline update as well as some Dirt Devil trivia.
This special Christmas greeting is being brought to you by Zellers, the same people who bring you these very special Christmas savings. Wrap up your savings with an 8-roll gift wrap pack, just $3.97, or luxurious metallic wrap, just $1.97, and save 30% on our selection of children's fleece. Merry Christmas and lower prices from Zellers, where the lowest price is the law every day.
This holiday season, give him the Gillette Sensor XL. With protective microfins, the best you can give, the best a man can get.
What glows in the dark and has 5,000 legs? The answer? Lights of the Wild at the Assiniboine Park Zoo, December 16th through January 7th. Sponsored in part by CK&D, Winnipeg TV.
There are friends, and there are close friends.
You are going to love this.
It takes all kinds. Friends, Thursday at 7 on CK&D, Winnipeg TV.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CK&D, you could win a set of quality appliances from Tefal, a 20-piece set of Mikasa fine china in the Currents pattern, a Gold Star Start Touch 2 VCR, or a Texas Instruments personal organizer. You could also win a trip for 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. To enter, drop by your local Safeway, and when the Jets score on CK&D, you could win. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
This CK&D Newsline update is brought to you by MTS.
Here are some of the stories making news tonight. Canada is sending 1,000 troops to Bosnia for 1 year. Defense Minister David Collinette says the deployment will begin almost immediately. Paul Martin says the federal deficit will be cut to $17 billion by the 1997-98 fiscal year. The finance minister issued his forecast during an appearance before the Commons Finance Committee today. Federal political leaders have paid tribute to the 14 Montreal women murdered by Marc Lépine 6 years ago today. Prime Minister Chrétien said the killings will remain imprinted on our memories. And Michael Jackson has been taken to a hospital in New York after collapsing on stage at the Beacon Theater. There's no word on his condition, but a spokesman says Jackson, who suffers from low blood pressure, was awake and alert when he was taken to hospital. Complete news following the hockey game on CK&D, Winnipeg TV.
This is fine print. Its natural habitat is down at the bottom of an ad, often one promising you tremendous savings on long distance. It hides there in the desperate hope that it won't be noticed. Because if you did notice it, you'd realize that the savings being promised might not be as big as they seem, and that you can get competitive savings from MTS. Funny how with all that type, they managed to forget that.
Devil presents Red Hot Trivia. Brought to you by Dirt Devil, makers of the MVP vacuum. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil. Which two players hold the Montreal record for the most points by a rookie? We'll have the answer right after this.
Take a tip from Santa and give the Dirt Devil hand vac. Help someone you love clean up this Christmas.
Which two players hold the Montreal record for the most points by a rookie? Need a hint? Both players set the record in the 1980s. The Montreal Canadiens record for the most points by a rookie is 71. The first player to set the record played 8 seasons for the Canadiens from 1982 to 1990. He is 15th on the Canadiens' all-time list with 243 goals. In 1982-83, Mats Naslund was a big part of the Montreal offense, despite making the transition from Europe to North America.
The puck seems to be a lot around the boards, more playing with digging and trying to get the puck out of your end and so on. And that's what I had to improve at the start.
Ironically, the other Montreal player to score 71 points as a rookie was also from Sweden. Kjell Dahlin scored 32 goals and 39 assists in 1985-86 to tie his fellow countryman. He would go on to play 3 seasons in the NHL, all of them with the Canadiens. Mats Naslund and Kjell Dahlin, the two players that hold the Montreal record for the most points by a rookie. Another Red Hot Trivia. Brought to you by Dirt Devil, makers of the MVP vacuum. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
Promotional consideration provided by Optex Binoculars. Superior quality, deluxe features, excellent value, all backed by an industry-leading no-fault warranty. See your retailer today.
Time to check out what is happening around the National Hockey League tonight, courtesy of MTS. 4 other games being played. All of them are final. Let's start with the Hartford Whalers 7-4 victory over the New York Islanders. Nelson Emerson with 2 goals, both on the power play. The Whalers now 10-13-2 on the season. Sean Burke making 30 saves for Hartford. Montreal Canadiens winning their first game since the big trade this morning. Vincent Damphousse had 2 goals. Oleg Petrov had the winner in the third as they beat the defending Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils 4-2 at the Forum. Anaheim Mighty Ducks are winless in 7. They lost 2-1 to Tampa Bay. Selimanov with his 16th goal for the Lightning. New York Rangers taking on the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Hawks on a roll early. Rookie Eric Daze fools Mike Richter. His second goal of the game. He leads all rookies with 14. Rangers come back, 3 straight power play goals for Beekstop, but Adam Gray buries his 11th, and it's 4-3. Hawks then take the lead right back. Gary Suter rips a howitzer by Richter. That's his 11th, 5-4 Chicago. Then in the third, Mark Messier behind the net, out in front to Pat Verbeek. Second of the game, 18th of the season. This game went to overtime, and it ended up in a 5-5 tie. Mark Messier will be a Ranger again next season. The team has picked up the option year of his contract. That'll be next season, so Mark Messier will make another $6 million playing for the Rangers in 96-97. The Kings leading the Jets 5-2 after 2/3 of play. Third period action coming your way as you're up to date on the NHL Tonight, courtesy of MTS. Our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues after this.
So we all decided to explore the joy of cooking.
Not too much.
Tonight's menu features Jill's fettuccine flambe, Scott and Lisa's entree,
Seafood,
and Steve's 5-alarm chiller. Good thing I selected the clean, refreshing taste of a perfectly chilled Labatt Light 95. And the perfect caterer.
With most other phone cards, you have to dial a complex access code of up to 11 digits before you can even begin to dial your call.
Flight 609 departing at 6:32 from gate 26 is now boarding. Would passengers in rows 18 through 35 please present your boarding pass at gate 26.
But with MTS calling card service, you just dial 0, then place your call. Another reason why the MTS calling card is the best card, period.
Last call for Flight 609 at 6:32 departing from gate 26. All
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by Reimer Express, Park Pontiac Buick GMC, and by Athletes Wear.
Back at the Forum where the Los Angeles Kings lead the Winnipeg Jets 5-2. It was 1-1 after 1. Then in the second, Curry from Lacroix and Sador. Conacher scored from Long and Drews. Then it was Gretzky with his 8th from Curry and McSorley. King got one back for Winnipeg, his 6th from Doan. But then Kevin Todd got his 5th from Granato and Curry. The first 3 of the Kings goals, by the way, were scored in 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
Jari Kurri with 3 points on the night, a goal and 2 helpers, and looks like the old Jari Kurri tonight. Tim Cheveldae gets out. There's Jari Kurri, goes to the front of the net. Look at the time. He's got 1 shot, 2 shots. Darren Turcotte comes back. Team defense. Terry Simpson talked about it with Hugh Kirk. Team defense. There was a forward, didn't pick up Jari Kurri in front, and here comes a forward back with Pat Conacher. It's Keith Tkachuk. He comes back, and then he circles away. And there's Pat Conacher just sliding it in. Keith Tkachuk realized his mistake, started to come back, but that was far too late.
So both clubs at full strength to start this third period. In the second, the Kings outshot the Jets 12-8, and through 2 have outshot the Jets 22-15, lead them 5-2. Here's Quint, gives to Manson. Manson dumps it in, back for it goes Cowie. Cowie hit for Conacher. The center ice stopped by Quint. Fired back in, McSorley, chased by Solani. McSorley leaves it there for Cowie. Cowie can't get it by Quint. Quint can't get it by Conacher. His pass, center ice, taking it across the line by Drews. Drews forced back by Manson. Now Conacher, check. Puck is left for Tkachuk. Tkachuk for Solani. Solani gains the line, looks for room, dropped it off, and it's sent back out to center ice. Now Darren Shannon dumps it in. And with it for the Kings is Conacher. Dumps it down into the Jet zone. Cheveldae leaves it there for Finley. Finley winds up the middle, gets to center ice, puts it in over the line and sent back out. Now Yachmanev puts it over. Here's Kristich with Gretzky. Yachmanev moves in his shot that was blocked. Puck down deep. Now Gretzky trying to work in front. Gretzky's backhand that went wide. Kings get it again. Here's Yachmanev. Yachmanev trying to work in front. Back to the corner. Kristich behind the net for Gretzky. Yachmanev in front. Now Gretzky. Centers it. Here's the door shot. Saved by Cheveldae. It's in behind the goal. Grabbed and cleared away by the Jets all the way down the ice. And that will be icing as Berg gets back for it.
Talked about Jari Kurri with his 3 points. Wayne Gretzky has 2, and every time his line's been on, they've had some scoring chances, and this shift was no exception. Gretzky parked behind the net, loses control, but then he feeds Daryl Sador in front, and again, Tim Cheveldae has to come up with a big save. No forward picked up Daryl Sador coming in from the point. Jeff Finley does a good job finishing the check on Gretzky, but that was after the good scoring chance.
They drop it unfairly down in Jet territory. 5-2, the Kings lead. Darren Turcotte and Jari Kurri move into the face-off circle.
And Shakti tried to drop that one and never hit the ice. The puck has to hit the ice. Need to whistle quickly.
Here's Turcotte. Now the Jets down away 3-on-2. It's out at center ice. Olczyk lets it go. The ball grabs and holds on. Eddie Olczyk has the best shooting percentage in the NHL.
A little pushing and shoving, and Tony Granato being his abrasive self on Shane Doan. 3-on-2 chance. I'm sure Eddie Olczyk would like to have this shot back. He wanted to keep it low and give a rebound. Turcotte goes to the net. Doan goes to the net. Olczyk's trying to play for a rebound, but he gets it too high, and Byron Defoe hangs on and gets the whip.
Dodd and Turcotte again, this time to the right of Defoe. Puck is left, now picked up by Finn, who moves it on to center ice. Finn with Granato, dumps it in. Shovelday puts it into the corner. Tocchet goes after it. Todd follows up, centers, and the Jets start back. Here's Olczyk. Dumps it in. After it goes Doan. Now it's in loose. Tocchet turns it back. 3-on-2 for the Kings. Gives to Todd. Todd gains the line. Todd looks across. Granato didn't get anything on it. And Daryl Shannon gets into the blue line. Long shot by Cowie. Tim Shovelday. And then Granato ran into the net. And it was dislodged.
Ran into the net and ran into Tim Shovelday in the process. Daryl Shannon doing his job on Granato. But Granato is one of those players, he always makes sure that he gets a piece of the goaltender. And if it doesn't have any effect on this shift, it might have an effect on the next shift. Shannon, and look at Granato. He makes sure he gets a little piece of Tim Shovelday. Kerry Wilson talking about whether Shovelday should get a break here in the third period or not. I'm sure Terry Simpson thought about it for a little while, but you're only down 5-2. If you do score early, you score in the first 5 minutes, you're right back in it. Would it really be fair for Scott Lankow?
Well, Scott Lankow was 6-3 in Springfield before being called up. Here's McSorley, moves in, lets it go. Shovelday save. Now after it is Manson. Manson for Solani. Solani trying to steer it out. It's picked up by Perot. Shot. Big rebound. Jemov knocked it out to center ice. And this time Cowie drives it in. Back to get it is Quint. Quint mishandles. Gets it back again. Now gives to Kachuk for Solani. Check. Solani reaches back, gives to Quint. Quint's pass across to Manson. Manson rink wide for Solani. Puck is left for Kachuk. Into the corner. Solani looks in front. Holds on to it. Slides it back. Quint lets it go. Deflected wide. Kachuk goes after it. Kachuk into him. Shamnov behind the goal. Shamnov trying to work it in front. Shamnov and Lacroix collide. It goes to Solani. Solani leaves it. And it's sent out to center ice. Picked up by Manson. He dumps it back in. McSorley with it for the Kings as both clubs make changes. McSorley gets it out to center ice. Here's Long. Trying to penetrate. Checked by Doan. It goes back to Sidor. Over for Berg. Down to the jet line. Drake to center ice. Eastwood.
Wow, back, but he looks like he's hurting again on the bench. It looks like maybe a back problem the way he was stretching.
Locked down into King's corner. Long trying to clear. It goes out to Doan. Doan couldn't reach it. Now Doan back to the point. Thompson shot. That's kicked away. Conacher behind the net to Berg. Around now for Druce. To center ice for Long. Long gets it to Conacher. Conacher stops. Back to the point. Berg can't get a shot away. He was tied up by Finley. And the Jets, Shannon. Darren Shannon gets to center. And dumps it in. 4.5 minutes into the third period. Los Angeles Kings lead the Winnipeg Jets 5-2. Doan dumps it in. After it is Captain King. King at the side trying to work it in front. And now the Kings start out. Benev sends it out to center, and again Chris King is there. He bumps it in. Doan goes after it. Turcotte trying to knock it in, and the puck was flipped out by Berg out of play. You're tuned to the Jets live on CKND Winnipeg TV.
If it doesn't have spirit, not worth doing.
Don't drink and drive this holiday season. Call a cab or Operation Red Nose. Volunteer drivers from the Manta Swim Club will meet you and drive you home in your own car, so you and your vehicle arrive home safely. The service begins Friday, December the 8th, so don't drink and drive this holiday season. Call Operation Red Nose at 478-1116 and get you and your vehicle home in one piece. Supported by Manitoba Public Insurance and CKND Sports Line.
Larry Robinson's team playing pretty well defensively, and he's getting production from all the lines tonight. It's not just one line going, all three lines are going, and his defense, and it's a patchwork defense. They played pretty well. Rob Cowie has had an exceptional game. He's played like a lot of those other number 77s tonight.
He's been handling the puck a lot. He's been shooting the puck. He's been moving it. And the line of Long, Bruce, and Conacher has had an outstanding game for the Kings as well.
Eric Lacroix trying to stretch it out in the runway.
Here's Manson. Puts it into the corner. And out thin. Gets it to the blue line. King with it for Winnipeg. Sends it all the way down. And going back to get it is Manson. 5-10. Gone in the third. 5-2. The Kings lead. Big second period in which they outscored the Jets 4-1. Here's Yachvanev. Puts it back. The shot is blocked. Now it's Quinn goes after it in the corner in his own zone. Quinn steps in front, looks for room. Now gathers speed as he moves to center ice. Dumps it down to the Los Angeles zone. Defoe puts it around. Stopped by Doan. Doan shot. Kicked away by Defoe. King after it. Puck goes free. Doan shot. Goes off the body, bounces loose. Gretzky gets it at center. Flips it across now to Yachvanev. Yachvanev working against Quinn, goes down deep. Yachvanev stops. Kristich digs it out. Kristich trying to get by Turcotte. Flipped it at the net. Cheveldae can't get out of the mitt. Now gets it to Manson, to King. Stopped by McSorley. McSorley goes back to his line, gives to Gretzky. Gretzky in the Jet territory. Gretzky puts it across. Manson after it there. Back for Quint. Quint flips it high. That'll go all the way down. And back for it is Cowie. Cowie chased by Solani. Around now for Granato. Granato checked by Kachuk for Solani. Back it goes. Now Gudas a shot. Kachuk in front. And the Kings take it away. Here's the pass for Granato. Following up is Tocchet. It goes to Granato again. Tocchet in behind the Jet and tried it for Todd, and that went all the way to center ice. Here's Todd with it. Back to the Jet line. Now Gunas. It goes to Shamnov. Stepped into the King zone, and with it again is Cowie. Tried it for Conacher. Puts it across to Todd. Dumped in. Back for it, Olczyk. To Eastwood. Eastwood with Drake. Drake takes the pass on the fly on the right side. Drake cutting in, and he put it wide. Here's Eastwood. And play has been whistled down. 7.5 gone in the third. 5-2. The Kings lead the Jets.
Introducing the amazing Chef's Little Secrets from SuperTech. To whip up a batch of tasty treats, simply use the bottom of one of the 3 special molds to cut out a circle of dough. Put the dough in the mold, add your favorite filling, then close firmly, and there you have it. Perfect turnovers ready for the oven. Create delicious stuffed pasta hors d'oeuvres, tasty meat ravioli, or delicate fruit pastries, because you've got the secret. The amazing Chef's Little Secrets in 3 convenient sizes from SuperTech.
Available at Canadian Tire, Zellers, Kmart, Superstore, Safeway, Byway, and other fine stores.
Golf Tour coupon books have been a favorite Christmas gift for years. This year, Golf Tour 96 comes with something special. Winnipeg's Book of Gold. With Book of Gold, you get 16 of the same golf courses offering 25 free rounds of golf. Plus, get 2-for-1 coupons at 90 restaurants, Jets games, skiing, IMAX, Discovery Zone, and many more. This year, give them more than Golf Tour. Give them Book of Gold. Pick up your Book of Gold at Shoppers Drug Mart, Select a Seat, Caddy Shed, Nevada Bob's, Dale Sapenko, the Bomber Gift Shop, and all Play It Again sports stores.
And stay with us in the post-game show tonight for the crunch of the game, brought to you by Vernas Auto Body, 160 Higgins. And also the big easy play of the game, brought to you by Jim Gauthier, home of the Big Buy. Jim Gauthier, Chabot's Geo Cadillac, both on the post-game show. They win it, the Los Angeles Kings short-handed now. Too many men on the ice.
We were wondering what the whistle was for. The extra guy never got involved in the play, but the call was made by one of the linesmen. The Kings bench didn't like it too much.
Here's Manson. Gets the power play out to center ice by passing it ahead to Drake. Drake goes down, looks for Kachuk, stops, spins, puts it to the point. Manson to the side of the net. Here's Olczyk, bats away at it. Puck goes into the corner. With it is Drake. Back to the point, Manson. Went off him outside the zone and back for Gushamnov. Shamnov puts it behind his goal, gets it himself. And now we'll try to get something going on the power play. Shamnov is out with Kachuk, Drake, Olczyk, and Manson. Kachuk has the puck. Gets it back to Shamnov, to Manson, to Shamnov, Kachuk. Shamnov puts it in. The Kings get it to the blue line. Held in by Shamnov. Here's Kachuk, a shot, and it went wide. Shamnov in the corner, puts it back. Manson's drive. Rebound picked up by Kachuk. Another penalty coming to the Kings. Jets will have a two-man advantage for 50 seconds.
Kevin Todd gets an interference penalty in front of the net. The Kings had a chance to get that one out and couldn't get it by Alexei Zhamnov at the point. And when they couldn't get it out, then it was a 5-on-2 in deep.
Number 12, Kevin Todd, 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, 8:32.
Kevin Todd is shaking his head as we have some Jet fans and a few people drop by to see Kurt up here. Old Winnipeg radio listeners and now TV watchers. CKND is seen everywhere here in Los Angeles. Keith Kachuk has missed the net. He's had 3 or 4 quality scoring chances. And Kurt, you talked about it with that cast on. It really must be bothering him. His accuracy is off by about 2 feet.
Yeah, he's been hampered by that. Nonetheless, he's out on the power play now. The Jets of the two-man advantage. Olczyk, Kachuk, Solani, Shamnov, and Manson, 4 forwards. It goes back to Manson. He gets it across to Shamnov. He lets it, they score! Olczyk at the side. Shamnov put it right on the tape. And Olczyk had it go off his stick. It's now 5-3.
Yes, but he had his stick in position. And Shamnov hit that stick. Wayne Gretzky tried to push that face-off by everybody. Couldn't do it. Shamnov walks in. It's a 5-on-3. The goalie can't come out and challenge as much. And there's Ed Olczyk in behind Rob Cowie. Wayne Gretzky tries to shoot it out and doesn't get it all. Olczyk does a good job on the face-off, and then he goes right to the net and gets the stick on the ice. Stick is on the ice. Perfect target. And it's a little shovel tip in. No mistake.
So the Jets still have a man advantage.
Number 10, Alexei Zhamnov, and number 4, Dave Manson.
Shamnov and Manson draw the assist on that goal by Olczyk. 5-3. The Kings lead. The Jets dump it in. Defoe stops it behind the net. Now Kachuk knocks it down.
Number 4, Dave Manson. Time of the goal.
It's taken by Olczyk to Manson. Manson puts it in front, and McSorley kills some time, circles back. McSorley can't clear. Here's Olczyk. A pass that was blocked by Cowie, and it's cleared by the Kings. Manson with 1:07 left in that penalty. To Todd. Gets it out to center ice to Drake. Drake down deep. Looks in front. Nobody there. Gets it back to Turcotte. Turcotte in for Drake. Drake to the point, and it was wide of Manson. That goes all the way down. Chevrolet leaves from Manson. Manson with 42 seconds in a man advantage. Gets it to Turcotte. Turcotte gains the Kings line. Now looks back to the point. Gets it to Quint. Quint in deep for Solani. Solani after it in the corner. Back to the point. Finley. Finley bothered by Conacher. Got it now to Solani. Solani watches Quint sneak in from behind. Now centers it. It goes back. Here's Solani. Over to Quint. Quint shot. And that went off in. And it's out of play.
Teemu Solani, that tough play across to Darren Quint. By the time it got there, Stephen Finn had reacted to the pass. I thought Teemu had room to walk in on Byron Defoe himself.
Our next lucky winner in our score and win contest is Carl Daher of Winnipeg. Or there, Carl entered score and win at Safeway along with a proof of purchase from Nabob Ground Coffee. Congratulations, Carl. You have won a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven.
And Olczyk's back taking this face-off. He did a good job against Wayne Gretzky. 5-on-3. A lot of times the centerman will try and just slap it by everybody, and that's what Gretzky tried to do. Olczyk got his feet in the way and started the play rolling and ended up finishing the play.
Olczyk's 10th of the season. He's out there now on the power play. Wins the draw to Manson. His shot. Here's Olczyk at the side. Puck goes to the corner. Shamrock behind the net. Olczyk and McSorley are there. Goes back. Shamrock lets it go. Big rebound. Tkachuk back to Shamrock. Shamrock in deep. Out to Tkachuk. Check. And out of the penalty box is Todd. The lead pass for Todd goes by him all the way down. Shoveling. Looks it ahead. Olczyk chases it, gets it to the line. King sends it to center. 9:14 left in the second period. The third period. The Kings lead the Jets 5-3. Here's King. After it at center ice. It's left down for Tocchet to Todd. One man back is Manson. Todd trying to get by Manson. Manson this time takes him in behind the net. Turcotte is there, so is Tocchet. It goes free. Quick shot. Shovelnay save. Manson gets it out to center ice to Doan. Doan's pass. Turcotte trying to free himself and Tocchet lets it go. Now Turcotte into the corner. Puts it back to King. Back it goes down to Thompson. A weak shot. They bow down with traffic around. And he covered up. Jets have picked it up as they try to close the gap. They trail 5-3.
Fantastic Christmas values. You'll find them at Future Shop on a huge selection of audio, video, computers, and appliances. Check out a 4-head hi-fi stereo remote VCR for only $278, or the Sharp 3 CD 80-watt mini system with 3-way speakers and remote for only $459, or a Hitachi camcorder with color viewfinder, $100 accessory pack, and no payments, no interest until October 1996, all for only $998. Fantastic Christmas values. You'll find them at Future Shop Discount Supercenters.
Love you too.
No.
Has she?
No.
Have you?
Not yet, but I plan to.
Check out a new comedy.
Oh, I don't want to build it up too much. You might not like it.
Oh, I'll love it.
The Single Guy. Thursday at 7:30 on CKND Winnipeg TV.
Have you ever seen an elephant glow in the dark? How about a lion or a giraffe? Come to Lights of the Wild at the Assiniboine Park Zoo December 16th through January 7th. Sponsored in part by CKND Winnipeg TV.
Ted Irvin will be back in the saddle with us Tuesday night for our next telecast, Montreal and Winnipeg. Now the puck is down into King's corner. Battle for it. Drake knocks it behind the net. With it there, Eastwood. Now to Drake. Drake behind the goal. Centered for Eastwood. And the Kings take it away. On to center ice is Kristich. Gets up to the Jet line. Kristich runs into. Now it's centered. And the Jets start back. Here's the pass ahead to center ice. Malgunas over now. Eastwood sends it back. Following up to Daryl Shannon. And he put it over top. Sidor. Check. Eastwood into the corner. Olczyk. Behind the net, Drake. Drake takes it outside. Now gives it to Daryl Shannon. Back. Malgunas. A shot. Well, the Jets are going to the net, beating the points and making things happen. And Defoe was standing his ground.
And again, there was another high shot. As you said, Kurt, the Jets were there. They were in good position. But the shot was too high, so you'll never get a rebound. This one goes very high. Daryl Shannon wants to get it over Yachmanev. And that's high and wide. And the next shot was high again. Eastwood was right there for a rebound. Keep it down, and they've got a chance for a tip-in or a rebound. Puck comes back to the point. Good crowd in front, but again, the high shot by Malgunas, and Defoe takes it off his chest.
Here's Cowie behind his goal for the Kings. 7 minutes, 33 seconds left in the third period. 5-3, the Kings lead it as Cowie sends it off the glass. It goes to center ice, picked up there by Long. In flight, Long is cut off. It is trounced by Manson. Quinn puts it behind the net. There's going to be a penalty. At least one. Now it looks like something might develop as Tkachuk is interested in McSorley.
McSorley was trying to get in on Dave Manson, who was manhandling Robert Long, and Keith Tkachuk got in his way.
So Manson goes to the penalty box.
Manson does a good job on Long, plays him one-on-one very well, but then he gets that left hand right into Long's face.
Is that obstruction?
You might call it obstruction or roughing, one or the other.
Or destruction.
Robert Long did his share there. He got back. He had his glove in Manson's face. That could have been one of those coincidental minors. But instead, Dave Manson goes off by himself, and that's what you get when you have a reputation. Had that been anybody else, there probably would have been coincidental minors.
So the Kings with the man advantage. They send out Gretzky, Kristich. Sador is back at the point, so is Curry. And also out there is Yachmanev. King with it now for Winnipeg. Trying to get it in out off the glass. It goes back to the line. Sador gives to Kristich. Kristich deep now for Yachmanev. Back to Kristich. To the point, Sador. The other side, Curry. To Gretzky. Centered. And unable to get a shot away was Kristich. Kristich with it again. Puts it in deep. Here's Yachmanev. Back. Curry move again and shot. Big rebound. And it's taken away by the Jets. Turcotte puts it into the Kings zone. Turcotte and Sador now goes to Curry. Or Kristich. Kristich forced into the corner. Chevrolet meets him there. Puts it around to the other side. Drake can't get out. Sador kicks at it. Drake comes up with it. Gets it ahead to Tkachuk. One man back. It's Curry. Here's the shot by Tkachuk. It went wide. Puck in the corner. And with it is Yachmanev. Yachmanev takes it slowly to center. 49 seconds left in the penalty to Manson. Gretzky's pass. That goes deep. With it again is Yachmanev. Back for Gretzky. Gretzky behind the goal. Darryl Shannon takes it away. Gretzky gets it back again. Looks at Yachmanev. Feeds it. They score! Sador somehow got that shot away despite the fact he'd been felled from behind by Tkachuk. Or was it Boucher?
Keith Tkachuk knocks Boucher down, but Boucher gets off a pretty good shot on this. Here's Gretzky, feeds Boucher, and Keith Tkachuk hooks Boucher. But look at the shot Boucher gets. Top shelf on Tim Chevrolet. Gretzky with his third point of the night. Nice setup to Boucher and no chance for Chevrolet.
The second goal and second point scored by number 26.
Tkachuk hooks him down, but Boucher, good concentration even as he's falling. Gets good wood on it to beat Chevrolet.
So it's 6-2 for the Kings. Granato trying to clear. It's stopped at the point by Thompson. Now Sador. His check. Eastwood goes after it. King. Diligent puts it back. Drake shot. Knocked down in front. And the Kings start away. Pass goes to Todd. Todd looking in front for Granato. Can't get it to him. Finley loses it. Now picked up. Todd can't get to the pass. Eastwood gives to Drake. To King. King into the middle. Thompson over the line. Shot blocked, but play is called because a couple of players were involved behind the action. Finley and Granato. 5:07 left in the third.
12, honey, how about 12?
30.
30's a little bit much. How about 15?
30.
30? How can you be sure?
30.
30? 30 worries me. What about 20?
30.
Go on a vacation where your biggest worry
How can you be so sure? I say 25.
will be choosing the right number sunscreen.
30 sounds good. Let's try 30.
Signature Vacations.
How about dinner tonight?
6 o'clock.
6:30.
See your travel agent for a brochure.
What's on your Christmas list this year? Another sweater, tie, perfume, or that boring box of chocolates? Why not give them some excitement? Tickets to a Jets game, dinner at a fine restaurant, a round of golf, a day at Discovery Zone. You can give all of these when you give Winnipeg's Book of Gold. For $35, you're giving over 200 2-for-1 coupons, a gift everyone can use year-round. And now, just in time for Christmas, you can pick up your Book of Gold at Shoppers Drug Mart, Select a Seat, or any of these local retailers.
Tony Granato agitating as he always does, and he draws a penalty. Jeff Finley takes a punch at Granato, and it was right in front of referee Bill McCreary. Finley's in the penalty box.
Kings have been excellent on the power play. They've got the advantage again. 3 for 5 so far. Those 3 goals coming and 5 power play shots. Here's Manson in behind his goal. Now works it up the middle. Looks on the right side. Jamnov gives instead to Solani. Breaking it on goal to Jamnov. And the save by Defoe. Jamnov is checked. Here's Yachbanana. Great opportunity, short-handed for the combination of Solani and Jamnov, and Defoe came up with a big save. Here's Gretzky, puts it back. The shot by Perreault into the corner. Gretzky puts it behind the net, center. Kristich is there. Couldn't get the handle on it. Cheveldae did.
Teemu Solani with a good pass to Alexei Jamnov, but good lateral movement by Byron Defoe. I thought he was down and out on the one side, but he still had enough presence of mind to push himself over and to get in front of that shot from Jamnov. And when Jamnov's hot, that's up top. This time he just tried to slide it along the ice, and Defoe was there. What a play by Solani, takes Boucher. And look at Defoe. He's down, but he's not out. Out goes the left hand, down goes the stick, and Jamnov right along the ice. Stopped by Defoe.
A minute 14 left in the penalty to Finley. 4:21 left in the third period. 6-2. The Kings in command. Here's Drake. 6-3 is the score. Here's the puck at center ice. Sador with it. Sador gets it to Granato. Granato against Daryl Shannon. Now it's in front. Tocchet. Back to the point. Curry gives it to Todd. Todd in deep. Behind the net, set out for Granato. Behind the net again to Tocchet. Kings, 42 seconds in a man advantage. Back to Sador. Shot goes wide. Curry, behind for Todd. Todd trying to drag it in front. Elects instead to feed the point to Sador. He gives to Curry. To Sador. Into Granato. For Sador. In for Tocchet. Sador, he winds it up, gets it back now to Tocchet. Tocchet to the high slot, now puts it back for Todd. To the other side, Curry. Curry puts it behind Cheveldae. Got it to Daryl Shannon. And again, it winds up on Sador's stick. He puts it in deep center for Granato. And out of the penalty box is Finley. Finley gets it to Tkachuk at center. Long shot. Defoe had a little trouble with that one. That dropped it aside. Here's Sador. Puts it to center ice. Quint trying to dump it back in. Quint is hauled down by Conacher. Puck goes to King. King turns with it. Got it for Turcotte. By him all the way down. Sador and Turcotte in against the boards. Olczyk trying to dig it out. He did. And now the Kings start away. It's taken out to center ice by Droz. Droz trying to beat Manson. Here's Droz. A shot. Cheveldae save. Rebound. Droz goes after it again. Back to the point. Dumped in wide of the goal. Conacher with it. 2:20 left. Here's Cowie's shot. Juggled. Was into the corner. Long. Penalty coming to the Jets. Kings going with 6 attackers. Bruce gets it to Curry. Into the corner. Back it goes again. Cowie. Puts it deep for Conacher. Back to Gretzky. Over to McSorley. Moves it in. Lets it go. Here's Bruce at the side. And players whistle down. As the Jets, Cheveldae was the only man to touch it. 1:56 left.
Canadian Tire has great prices on everything you need. Plus, earn Canadian Tire money with every cash purchase of merchandise. Great prices made better at Canadian Tire.
Number 89, Darren Turcotte. 2 minutes for holding.
By keeping Tim Shovelday in for the third period, I'm sure that Terry Simpson had something in mind for tomorrow night. Now, Tim Shovelday's played pretty well here in the third period. Sure, he's losing 6-3, but the Kings are really coming on. They're blitzing him. John Druce is in alone. And again, Tim Shovelday with a good save. He waits. He's patient. And he made a couple of after that were just as good. So I think Tim will feel good about his play going into the game in San Jose tomorrow night.
So Darren Turcotte goes into the penalty box. And he'll stay there till the end of the game, unless, of course, the Kings score. Now the Kings dumping all the way down. And back for it goes McSorley. McSorley comes up the middle. Gets to center. Minute and a half left. It's dumped in. Shovelday puts it around to Drake. Drake sends it high, and then goes all the way down. Going back again is Cowie, who has put on an impressive performance tonight.
Noticeably absent here in the third period has been Igor Korolev. We saw him sitting on the bench beside Teemu Selanne, but that's as close as he's gotten to him for the last 20 minutes.
Here's Cowie with it again. Gets it over the jet line, taken there by Thompson. Thompson's pass goes straight down to Cowie. Cowie dumps it in.
1 minute.
Into the final minute, Thompson behind his goal. So a big victory for the Los Angeles Kings. They had been struggling before coming home. And now have a 3-game unbeaten string, and the Jets' road problems continue, at least into San Jose tomorrow.
A big night for Wayne Gretzky. You're picking stars, and you look at this LA Kings team, and they've had a balanced attack, but it's been their leaders. Wayne Gretzky has played very well. Yari Curry has played like the old Yari Curry. Tony Granato has been very good. And then back on defense, Marty McSorley has been steady, good goaltending, and then Pat Conacher, one of their old veterans. He comes up with a goal, and that's the kind of balance they've had tonight. And you look at the Jets. Who would you pick from the Jets as a start tonight? Maybe Ed Olczyk. He's had a decent game, but nobody has really stood up.
Now the Kings. Here's Perreault moves in. He lets it go wide. Kachuk bats it off the boards out towards center, and back into his own zone goes Boucher. 42 seconds left. Boucher comes up the middle. Gets out to center. Gives to Sador. He dumps it in. Out of the net. Shovelday gets it to the blue line. Held in. And it's called to the offside.
And an intentional offside. And some people have been talking about Yari Curry and how they think maybe he has lost that half step that has made him look his age. But tonight you could never tell the way he's played. And he's played well defensively. There was a play, Keith Kachuk shorthanded, where Yari Curry was playing the point. It was a 2-on-1, and Kachuk ended up hitting the side of the net. That's the way Yari Curry can play, both ends of the ice.
Long after it along with King. Long with 20 seconds left. Now moves it up to Small center. Gets it on the left side to Sador. Takes it deep. Sador behind the goal. Daryl Shannon after him. Shannon sends it up. Tipped in by the Kings. Here's Perreault in front. That's cleared away, and that will do it. The Los Angeles Kings win the first of 4 seasonal battles against the Jets, and do so convincingly.
And with a big offensive production, a team that hadn't been scoring many goals, and yet you look at the quality scoring chances they've had tonight, and it must have been in that 15 to 20 range, and they cashed in. Kevin Todd, Pat Conacher, Yari Curry, Gretzky, people who have not been putting the puck in the net, they did tonight for the LA Kings.
So the Jets move on from here. They'll play in San Jose tomorrow night. Once again, the final score here, the Los Angeles Kings 6 and the Winnipeg Jets 3. In a moment, our Molson 3-star selection.
The human face, a landscape, difficult terrain where certain hairs grow taller, longer. Introducing a revolutionary 3-stage shaving system, Braun Flex Integral. The first foil removes short hairs. An integrated cutter shaves longer hairs. And the second foil completes the job. New Flex Integral for Braun's closest shave yet. Braun, the world's most recognized shave.
Day after day, you see the same thing. Car and truck buyers driving all over Manitoba looking for great deals, only to end up at the home of the big buy, Jim Goche. And then they ask, how do you always have the best prices? And how can you sell your cars and trucks for so much less than everybody else? Well, the answer is easy. Volume! If you don't come see the big guy today, he can't save you any money.
On McPhillips, north of Inkster.
Golf Tour coupon books have been a favorite Christmas gift for years. This year, Golf Tour 96 comes with something special. Winnipeg's Book of Gold. With Book of Gold, you get 16 of the same golf courses offering 25 free rounds of golf. Plus, get 2-for-1 coupons at 90 restaurants, Jets games, skiing, IMAX, Discovery Zone, and many more. This year, give them more than Golf Tour. Give them Book of Gold. Pick up your Book of Gold at Shoppers Drug Mart, Select-A-Seat, Caddy Shed, Nevada Bob's, Dale at Sapenco, the Bomber Gift Shop, and all Play It Again sports stores.
Time now for the Molson 3 stars from tonight's game, starting with And coming up, we'll get some final thoughts on tonight's game from Kerry Wilson when our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues.
The human face, difficult terrain, perfect for Braun's new 3-stage shaving system. One foil removes short hairs, an integrated cutter, longer hairs. The second foil completes the job for Braun's closest shave yet.
It's the season to love and share, and the Christmas Cheerboard has made it easy for you to help over 20,000 Winnipeg families this Christmas. Just drop off a new unwrapped toy at the Christmas Cheerboard's Toy Depot. It's at the corner of St. Anne's and St. Mary's Roads.
Right now, when you go to McDonald's after 4 p.m., you can get a second Big Mac for just 25 cents when you buy one at the regular price. That's a second Big Mac after 4 p.m. until December 10th. One more time. Go to McDonald's and buy a Big Mac at the regular price, and you get a second one for just 25 cents after 4 p.m. So don't just sit there. Hurry in for a second Big Mac for just 25 cents until December 10th. But only after 4 p.m. and only at McDonald's.
Hi, I'm Tammy. Tamara and I are TAMP, members of the WARAMP Child Amputee Program. I lost my leg when I was 2. I chased a ball onto the street and was hit by a car. Now I warn young children to play safe. Remember, spot the danger before you play.
Safety is no accident, so play safe.
A message from the WARAMP.
Caddy Shed is Manitoba's #1 golf discount store.
Caddy Shed, #1 best selection, #1 best service, #1 best price. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. You just can't do better than Caddy Shed.
What do a lion, a toucan, and a reindeer have in common? The answer? 100,000 lights. Come to Lights of the Wild at the Assiniboine Park Zoo, December 16th through January 7th. Sponsored in part by CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Well, time now for tonight's Vernos Auto Body Crunch of the Game. And let's go to the second period for this one. Teemu Selanne of the Jets on the ice. And who's looking for her? Well, it's the Kings, Marty McSorley, but it's Marty getting the surprise here as Teemu puts him down. The Crunch of the Game, brought to you by Vernos Auto Body, family owned and operated for over 40 years. And Kerry Wilson, a loss by the Jets tonight. The Los Angeles Kings, I'm sure Coach Terry Simpson disappointed by the effort tonight from some of his big-name players.
Well, I think so. He's disappointed tonight, and also I think he sees some things he's got to work on again, and that's team defense. He stresses it over and over again, but you didn't see that out there tonight. You saw the Kings come out, poke a lot of holes in the Jets' defense, and it cost a lot of goals. And it was simple things. You saw on Conacher's goal, you saw Keith Tkachuk come back, and what happened there, it wasn't so much Keith Tkachuk leaving his man, it was Keith Tkachuk was thinking, oh, well, maybe we got the puck, I'll start thinking about breaking out. You can't think about leaving the zone till your team has the puck, and it's just it's a simple mental breakdown. An easy thing to fix, but the players have got to get back mentally and start thinking this team defense.
We haven't seen too many times this season where Terry Simpson has benched players, but he certainly did that in the third period. Jim McKenzie, Darren Shannon, and Igor Korolev did not set foot on the ice.
Well, in that situation, Terry Simpson's got to pick out the players that aren't quite there tonight for whatever reason, and he shortens his bench, and this gives the other players that have got a little bit of their legs with them and are mentally in it, gives them a little bit more ice time, and it tries to get the team back on a roll. And you saw it a couple of times. You saw the Doan, Turcotte, and Chris King line working extremely well tonight. They got things rolling, but you know, it just wasn't enough. As I said earlier, the Kings kept poking holes in the Jets' defense, and they kept taking the wind out of their sails.
All right, let's put this game behind us, because I know the Jets are certainly doing that right now. Let's look ahead. Tomorrow night, the Jets have the San Jose Sharks, a team that is struggling, coming off a 12-2 beating. They're going to be upset. They're going to be mad. They're going to want some revenge, and they're going to try to take it out on the Jets.
Well, they definitely are going to try and do that, and I think the first one of the questions is going to be, you know, what goalie will Terry Simpson go with? And I think Tim Cheveldae finished fairly strong in the third period. I think he'll probably stick with Chevy, and then the rest is, you know, the Sharks, they've been struggling with scoring goals themselves. That might be a bonus for the Jets, who might give them the opportunity to start tightening up a bit on defense.
Well, the Kings are supposedly struggling to score goals, but that wasn't evidence tonight. But the Jets have got to get the goals from Alexei Zhamnov, and he has certainly struggled to score. Scored against Chicago on Saturday night, but had a glorious opportunity there in the third and couldn't bury it.
That happens when a player is sort of struggling a bit in a bit of a slump, and it's really tough regaining that touch. All of a sudden, the open netters, which would just be piecemeal for a player like Zhamnov, is struggling with finishing, and all of a sudden things will change and they'll start coming in bunches, and you know, you got to be patient and just hope that the next game is the one where he breaks out of that slump.
And that next game, as we said, will be tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. Kerry Wilson, thank you very much for joining us once again.
All right, thank you, Joe.
All right, Jets losing to the Los Angeles Kings 6-3. Byron Dafoe winning his 9th game of the season. More to come as our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues after this.
What glows in the dark and has 5,000...
The men behind the mask. Goaltending, the key to winning. The key to Winnipeg this season was Nikolai Habibulin, but after an impressive 11 wins, a knee injury has him on the sidelines. So the spotlight now shifts to former first-stringer Tim Cheveldae to keep Winnipeg winning. It's been a long and painful year in San Jose for Arturs Urbe. With only one win, the Shark star has fallen all the way to third string and the trading block. Next on the hot seat, minor leaguer Wade Flaherty, but he too has wilted behind bad defense, leading to a winless record. A trade brought veteran Chris Terreri to save San Jose. He's won 3 times, but after Tuesday's nightmare, he may hope he never wakes up again. The Sharks try to put some bite back into the attack tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. Next on TSN. The Sharks were drowning after 25 games, so Kevin Constantine was axed in favor of assistant Jim Wiley. Wiley won his debut, but then Tuesday the Sharks were buried by the Avalanche 12-2. Their goaltenders left as shark bait.
By the Bay in San Jose. Inside tonight, the Jets will take on the Sharks for the 3rd time this season. This will be the 56th consecutive sellout at San Jose Arena. Hi,
everybody. Dan Schulman, Ryan Walter, Howie Meeker with you for part 2 of our doubleheader. Winnipeg and San Jose tonight at the arena. And Ryan, let's start with you and the Sharks. Jim Wiley's the new head coach for the Sharks. He's seen it all in only 2 games.
Well, he's seen it all. He's going to see some more too, Dan. But what a gregarious and personable guy. We got to meet him this morning, and I think he's going to be a real player's coach here in San Jose. His big problem is 130 goals against. You compare that to the best in the league, Detroit, with 61. It's almost, well, it's double what Detroit has allowed. So they've got to take care of their own end, their 5-on-5 play. But this is a team that got beat 12-2 not too many nights ago in Colorado, and I think they're going to be out for bear. They should have a good game tonight.
Howie, let's get some thoughts from you on the Winnipeg Jets. What makes the visitors go?
Well, Dan, back home when I'm spinning the dials on the dish and the Jets are playing, I always go looking for them. Selene, Kachuk, and friends are just fun.